Sup? Bad news, guys.
And I think after that, for almost
League of Legends
everybody,
team is
you
tied for
take
last place
this
right now.
in the preseason power rankings and you flip
It's
it
pretty
upside
bad.
down, right? It is almost exactly opposite to what a lot of people were expecting. Maryville and Wildcard have been firing on all cylinders since the season started.
That's really bad,
A
man.
lot of our
Not gonna lie, we're
top
0-2.
performers in Supernova, Team Liquid, and Disguise
We're playing up
are sitting
against.
all the
We're
way
playing a
down
team.
I will say Team Liquid picking up their first win. We had a couple of those
Playing
on Friday.
against a team
they had to
that's
come away with
2-0.
the first win. Both teams.
And last 2 days ago, we played against a team that was 0-3, and we still lost. So we lost against the first team. We lost against the 8th team, and today we play the 3rd team. And looking good for DSG. This is not good for DSG's legacy. Hello, what's up? I don't know what happened. We used to be so good. And then we changed all the players and all the coaches, and suddenly we're not. Deborah Chung, thank you for the 21 months. I'm getting a little worried. Frosty, thank you for the sub. Our Valorant team is good, and our League of Legends team is bad. This is last year, but flipped over.
Not being able to close out those late game decision makings really comes
But hey,
with them a lot of the time.
I never give up on my
we've seen
players.
rampant around the NACL a lot is just
Our Valorant
close
team
out
was
games.
once
Very
0-11, and I still showed up to every game. And that's
going
gonna be the same for our league team.
Our season is short this time, Mazelle. We do not
We may be
have as
sucking
much
butt,
of these, teams to
but I'm
figure
still gonna
things out.
show up.
As we start getting ready for
Because
our
I want my
first
players
season,
to
I
show
think
up for
this is
me,
one of those things where
and for that to
we are
happen,
really going
I
see
have to show up
these
for my
guys
players.
come together very quickly. They are already 2 of 9 series into the regular season. They need to start finding some wins, and based on the roster that we already have on your screen, we were expecting these guys to be firing right off the bat, but they have not figured out what it takes to figure out a game in the regular season yet.
We have not been figuring
difficult
any
when
shit
you
out, man.
have-
We fucking suck.
I would feel like some of the brightest pieces in Tier 2 come together, and it just doesn't seem to be clicking, right? First of all, I love Tenacity, his disguised representative there as his bodyguard, but I think he is also an important piece to trying to unlock the rest of the map. Finding stability up there is so important for the core pieces in Perry and Young to really find success and really find the same form.
Yeah,
I feel like we
I mean, it
saw
looks
both
like
these
right
guys on
now our
last year
top and
coming
jungle's
into
a
this
little
year. I think
weak.
that's where we look at the other side for Wildcard. Where the expectations might have been a little bit lower, but we're looking pretty good.
Look,
I
they don't even
definitely
have
say so
pictures.
much
How are
of
we
the
losing a
fact they
team
are
without
winning comes from
pictures?
The fact that they have this roster, they had more time to figure out all the intricacies of how they were going to be playing together. As you talked about before the show even started, Mazel, this is St. Louis University with a different top laner, right? Surdy's playing for Team Liquid, and they brought in Quacker to fill in that.
I've been seeing more and more colleges and universities get into esports. A college got a challenger spot, and this Maryland University who has a spot in this league. So what happens if a college wins like an Ascension slot for Valorant? There's just gonna be a college franchise team. Who gets the money? Who gets the $2 million a year from Riot? The university, the club, the players. Maybe that is the future for esports. It's a college to professional gaming program. So this way, if you fail at being a pro gamer, you would at least have a college degree, which I think is a good idea because a lot of these college kids, they give up their education to pursue a competitive career and doesn't work out because guess what? I think only 5% of
I remember
esports players make it. 95% they fail.
Well, I got some bad news
not
for
gonna
you.
happen.
We're
Stress
still in
Dave,
the same
thank you for the
patch,
sub.
but I do want to go back to what you're talking about a little bit.
Don't give up on your dreams. No, wait, sorry. Opposite of that. Give up on your dreams. The idea of becoming a famous streamer or a famous gamer, the odds are so low, it is not worth giving up your high school or college education for it. Kids, please stay in school. This is the equivalent of moving to LA to try and become a big actor in Hollywood. And you have to work Starbucks job and sleep on the streets to do it. You hear the 1% success stories, you don't hear the 99% failures. The US Army has an esports team. Yeah, but that's more to trick you into joining the army. They're getting really creative with it. There's a esport orgs that literally advertises for the army, right? Isn't that a little weird? Like, hey kids, you like shooting guns in Valorant? Now shoot guns in real life. Join up the army. Like, it's a little, I don't know. I'm gonna. It feels weird to me, unless they pay me a lot of money, in which case it doesn't feel weird. Nothing wrong with getting kids to sign up to join the army and shoot some guns. Our first pick. What do we pick?
Don't have to take another couple of bans towards Louis in the second half.
Look at these bans. Seraphine, Ash, Senna, they don't want our ADC to play the game. Manui always draw triple bans. Every team always triple bans against Manui. That's what we did against him last season, and then we reverse swept them. So that's a very effective strategy.
It also pushes away a little bit of the likelihood of seeing the Azir. Now, while Young does play the Azir, it is not the easiest matchup to go into the Orianna. We know Darkwings is very comfortable on both sides of that matchup. However, it does leave a couple of spots that are a bit surprising to me in the fact that Young likes to play a lot of the melee champions that do have decent matchups into the Orianna. We know that he was hovering the Akali earlier on. We know that he's willing to play. He loves playing it into the Azir. But the question then becomes, because we're playing Fearless, do you want to take the Akali now into the Orianna, or do you want to wait for Darkwings to play Azir next game and take it in an even better matchup?
That's always the most curious thing, because when you talk to players, I mean, a lot of these teams are coming in.
We're going to focus on jungle and top this game.
Because Fearless kind of binds their hands as time
That's
goes
where
on.
it feels like
there it is, right?
We're the weakest.
Sorry, production.
sorry, production.
Huge disconnect.
This is an L. We do get the Azir though, and I think it's strong for a reason. I think the first side of Spike Nashor's Tooth is actually crazy. We talked so much at the beginning of Split at how tanky Baron is now.
Nocturne.
Azir makes that a little bit easier.
Ooh,
True.
I'm scared about the Vi.
This is the perfect spot to try and
The
grab
Vi
top, and he's been
requires
so
good decision making,
banned throughout most of the
and it's
season.
pretty bad if you
Gives them a
go in
spot
without
where
your
they have
team,
multiple combos they are
which
trying to
has
pick up.
been
They
the
do
case
decide
for
to
our
go for
players.
Lelouch in order to try and have a little bit more control over the early laning phase. But
So,
now it doesn't mean that they have access to the Nocturne.
I'm a little concerned.
Moving into the second half of the draft,
Yeah.
and they need to make sure that this Lucian Million combo has a lane that it can win into going into Manui and Poom.
I mean, we've seen, at least over in the LPL, we've seen teams literally give up multiple power picks just to get this duo in bot lane. It is ridiculously strong. The amount of burst damage you can do, but also the sustained damage it allows Lucian to have throughout the game now is actually insane. So I like that they're trying to focus, because when you talked earlier, Wildcard, it was about this setting up this bottom duo for success, really Darkwings having a mainstay in that as well. So I think this is a good step in the right direction at least. And as we're in the second phase of bans, the Bard, Nautilus by Wildcard, focusing that bottom side a little bit more. The Nocturne and the Olaf ban by DSG.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking at this as a setup for DSG to play something like the Blitzcrank in order to really create pressure going into the melee. And going back to it, tried and true for Winnie as well here in the Xin Zhao, you have a lot of skirmishing power. But one of the things that I am a little bit worried about already looking at this is you're going to have a major range deficit later on in the game between the Vars and the Azir. You're going to be dealing with a lot of tools for DSG
do
to
more
play long range, and Wildcard currently don't have the best tools to
Not
get
right now.
that. They're very
It was
reliant
a
on
cool
using
test,
Lucian's
but
ultimate to take things down with this Nico coming through. I mean, it's
I feel like I don't stream enough. Like, if I streamed more, sure, but the only times I stream these days is just to do DSG watch parties.
On the side because Orianna can
I think at most I can stream on the DSG YouTube channel. Maybe that's the thing. And everyone who follows the DSG YouTube channel are probably fans of DSG.
We've seen the deer just run at people. It works most of the time. But I want to highlight DSG a little bit here before we get into it, because They got flangles for days here, Joshi.
They do.
It's like they've got so much variability in the way they approach team fights, it feels.
Yeah, and I think the big thing is they have all these tools, and they don't necessarily need to use them because they have incredible battlefield control with the champions they've already picked up. You have a wall that you can make. You have an AoE route that you can always
Alright,
from the new.
come on, team.
Boom with
First
this
one of the
massive
season. We
danger
got
circle
this.
in the middle of it.
I jinxed it
and
already.
Tenacity can just remove somebody from the fight. You have so
Every time I try and
many
stay
tools to just take
positive,
these front
it
and back out
backfires.
team
I should
fights.
have
As
said
long as
that.
you're
I
not grouping up on
apologize.
top of a shockwave, there's a
one's on
fairly
me.
straightforward kind of game plan coming through from DSG, which will
I need to
hopefully
do the
help them
opposite.
out
I need
quite
to
a
be
bit.
so
because
defeated.
every single time we have a wild card
that
game,
they
or rather,
surprise
every
me.
single time we have a winning
Well,
game,
guys, let's
you know it's
just
just going to be an
lose in
all-out brawl,
peace. Pick
and
me
DSG
whatever.
are very easy to play.
Yeah,
Get this
and
over
that's
with.
The ease of execution is the important thing, but you always got to be ready for the aggression from Winnie's side and from Wildcard as a whole. As we get into game number 1 of our day, it is the best of 3 between DSG and Wildcard, and I want to highlight Wildcard's side a little bit more. We talked a little bit about their lack of range.
Yeah, talk about
but I
Wildcard
do
more. Don't
feel
talk
like
about
their
DSG.
pick
Like, what the fuck
potential
we're gonna
and
do,
their
man?
at least
Just been
burst potential
sucking.
is
Just been
there.
sucking.
Yeah, they definitely have a lot of tools to get some bursting out, especially earlier in the game.
Wait,
Dark
there's a
yeah.
free kill on Oriana.
Okay.
Flash.
We talked so much about Dark Waves, maybe we cast
Free
the first
flash,
one here.
okay.
That will be the flash out early.
Yeah,
That's
A little
good,
bit of
that's
money
good.
going over to Pooh. Oh no, it doesn't start yet. They did change that. Anyway, one of the big things that
Free
I am
flash.
looking at from Wildcard is they need to.
I'm
have some
thinking we
pressure
do a
early
level
on, and
2
Winnie has had
Gankarino.
a ton of opportunities to do this. In the first outing that he had going up against Team Liquid, he was able to find his way behind the bot lane from Team Liquid with an inventive path relatively early in the game, and it really set the tone for not just that game, but the entire series after that. And now he knows that there is a ward here, and he looks like he's trying to do something a little cheeky in order to actually find his way to something exciting again.
I'm always down to look up here in top lane. I think Tenacity has always been one of my favorite players, but Quacker closely becoming one of those here after
This is
last
what you're
year's
doing.
performances. We'll have to beat start as well as just being that aggressive Udyr first and foremost. I do want to talk a little bit about, though, as we see this, because we are
I don't
getting
understand. Why
Pooh's
did we just
Nico
lose
support.
40% of
It
our
is
health?
the first of the year for him. It is our third
someone explain that to
in
me?
an ACL.
Was that an advantage?
0% win rate. So trying to make it happen
don't like
here
that
for
stat.
DSG.
Is it mainly
I don't
to
like that
protect the
stat. I
vibe?
think Pretty good
It's,
champion.
You know, just leave that one out of here.
We're going to leave that one. We're going to ignore that, but we are going right on back. Tenacity zoned out. Actually, he gets a lot of that experience, but he's taking a lot of damage. Eventually,
That's not good.
people will realize that maybe we don't need to take half our HP going into the Udyr at level 1, but this time Quacker does get it, but he doesn't zone
I don't
out Tenacity
understand. Can
of
someone
all
explain
the
that to
minions. It
me?
looks like there were
Like, we just
still
lost
2
40%
melee
of
minions
our
that
health.
Tenacity picked up, so not doing too
I imagine
bad
the
on
only
that side of the map,
explanation
but
is
Winnie
to
cleared out his top
help
side. He's now moving to the
Vi
bottom
clear
side,
blue,
and Perry,
so Udyr
he's
can't
going for
interrupt it.
everything on the top side. So he's going to have to decide what camp he wants to skip in order to make sure he can match Winnie.
Yeah, we already see Winnie playing a little bit with the head games here in the jungle pathing. He will also get vision here of Perry. That gives him so much because bot lane's under fire here, and the lack of range really already coming to bear as Poom able to get out of lane so early.
And this is really important. Getting that ward down, having the early prio does mean that Winnie, I mean, look at what he's trying to do. He's waiting for the wind becomes lightning in order to try and jump into this outside of vision. But that is the kind of reason why we love watching Winnie play. He's so cerebral when he goes for all these things. But the problem is, as soon as he's out of it, they're going to know exactly where he is. So some of the early pathing that we've known Winnie for so far this season, not going to come to fruition as long as Disguise don't make a major blunder.
I think that's something for me, for Winnie, that's always been a key to his play is his
pretty well.
aggressiveness. Sometimes gets the better of him. He's a very cerebral player, and I think he can be along the likes of a lot of these. Yeah.
He's just going right around. He's going to find Perry.
Perry, look out. This is Shinzao.
This is rough. Jinzhao's good at
Wait,
skirmishing.
this is good.
Vi, pretty good skirmishing early, too, especially with the level lead.
Yeah, we got a level
and that
advantage.
red buff already there. So it's going to be given. Scuttle Crab over to Disguised, and a bot lane priority given their way.
Whoa, this is the longest. Okay.
Originally trying to find a way to counteract what Winnie is doing, but Winnie's on the top half.
Let's
now
go. We got ourselves a ganking strategy here. Okay. Let's go. Good dive. Good dive. That's what I like to see. Good job, Perry.
Ooh, that was beautiful. That's one of the things I love watching about Perry is his visualization of how the play needs to work. The fact that he's not starting with the Q in that entire sequence means that he's so ready to fight. He follows up on the flash, And now Tenacity needs to find a little bit of safety, but that's what we love seeing.
Tenacity, why are you still fighting this?
Nasty taking some awkward steps there on the back end. Couldn't take an extra Phoenix
I
shot.
mean,
on
I know he thinks he's a
little bit of
Giga
trouble
Chad,
up the
but
top side. Yeah,
man, that's a lot of
I
damage
think that's something
taken.
we've always known for Perry. It's been so cool to
Like,
see him on a new org, but on Fear, this is where he made his name. He was so vocal, and he was so ready to be the carry for his team.
Yeah. Watch this. This is one of my favorite things to see from junglers is when they hold on to their mobility and crowd
So
control,
yeah,
especially,
Vi
in order to
walks
follow
up and then just
after their
opens
opponent's
with
mobility
the
has
auto
been used.
attack,
Starts off with just an auto
reset,
attack coming through here on Aaron, and as soon as
and
the dash
then
comes through,
dashes
he
to
follows
the
him
Lucian
immediately.
there,
Happens to
which
hit
was
Doxa
really
and
smart.
flashes after that guy as well. And that's the kind of thing where you know that's not a reaction kind of play.
That's
the
smart.
kind of thing
One of
where
our biggest problems
he
is we
set
don't
that
hold our
up.
mobility
He knew
moves.
every single chess move, and he played the opening
Like
to
you
perfection,
should hold
finding
your
that first
mobility
blood for
move for
themselves.
when they
They're
use their
already setting
mobility
Disguise
moves.
on
There's
the
no
path
need
to
to queue in
potentially
there. You just
change
walk
their
up.
fate.
For me, it was the
Good shit, Perry.
swiftness
Good shit.
of the Vault Breaker as the dash is already like going through it. Like it's literally as he's dashing, and Lucian's dash is not a charged ability like Vi's Vault Breaker is, which is actually crazy to me. Now we do see Wildcard taking advantage of the other side of the map, though. Will be a trade of objectives, something I feel like we haven't seen very often in an ACL because the timings are a little bit weird sometimes on map distribution, but here we have it.
Yeah, and it is going to be, you know, vaguely even. The Cloud Dragon is very nice for the side of Disguise. Actually, in particular, all of these backline members who can now better
Dragon for
escape
Void
Winnie and
Grubs.
Quacker during the
We'll take
elongated
it.
fights. But Perry, he does get spotted coming out to the bottom side, but that does mean that Dox has to be careful. He has no flash.
Shockwave onto Young in mid lane. He still does have the Emperor's Divide. Will burn his flash. Winnie was still chasing him, but now just trying to put pressure down bot side.
Yeah. I'm surprised when he's backing out as quickly as he is.
Oh, what do we
He's
have
gonna get
here?
caught.
Poom with the
no.
roam.
Poom finds him in transition. Perry takes away the Gromp, gets the heal too, and DSG
Uh-oh.
now looking for the play.
Yeah, that's
Darkwing's
fine. That's
nice
fine. Ult for flash.
after
We'll
Young's
take it.
Emperor's Divide.
Yeah, this is part of why I was expecting Winnie to stick around or at least throw a W into that bush in order to try and get some more mobility out of Young, but Young is A-okay after all of that. But we are seeing a little bit, while the bottom lane did fall to Perry early on, one of the things that has been surprising me about Wildcard this split is how effectively their lanes have been operating. We were not expecting this team to be particularly lane dominant, but Darkwings is up wave and a half, and up top lane, Quacker was really
Oh, we
taking
know-
tenacity to
we know
try
she
and
got
do
no
so much
flash.
damage, and they
We
need
know
to
she got
find
no
some ways
flash.
to equalize across the board before they just run out of money.
God, I love this so much. Winnie and Perry are just mind game
Oh,
playing
we got the
chess. And
tenacity roam as well?
is now the rook that comes in over the side, it feels like Perry.
Nice,
Just
nice,
sit
nice.
down,
Good
they
roam,
give the
tenacity.
Tenacity and Quacker
We
sitting
know,
with
we
question
know they
mark
got no
teams.
flash. We have the right bush
I mean,
with a
that's what they
jungle.
need to do, though,
So they
right? They're
have to
getting
go to
a
the
little
left
bit
bush
more
and we
money
have to
coming
roam.
through, and I like that chess reference coming through.
Okay,
When you're
doing-
really speaking
doing
my
much better
language here,
today.
but at the same
Tried
time,
to.
they're gambling a whole set of plates on the top side of the map because Quacker is just left up in the top side completely free to hit. So they do sacrifice a little bit in order to make that play work, but they will be getting a lot of it back on the other side of the map. And so we will see how effectively this gold lead can actually maintain itself as Tenacity, again, needs to fight for his parity in the lane.
I think I'm so worried
Wow,
about
the
those.
damage
Watch
was
how
so big.
important this bottom lane can be.
But we had to burn him.
Kind of
Oh,
just left them
we
to
did
the
it.
wolves down here, and those two wolves being
Wait, these
named
guys are
Poom and
still
Manui.
staying?
And that's another thing that has been very surprising, right? Ooh.
Oh, they're looking.
Boy.
They know we have no
Staying,
mana.
The warm hugs definitely doing some work. Nice little block.
Oh, Nico
from-
Clone blocking Lucian
Really
Ult is
heads up play
such
coming through
a...
there. That's another thing. A lot of people have been
Such a
criticizing this bot
nice
lane.
counter.
We're gonna be attacked in a sec.
Guys,
Trying to play
guys.
super aggressively because Winnie's
Good
around
heal.
the corner. He does have the
Dodge
one
the
lightning
Shin's
and
out
the crescent
W.
guard. He has flash. All the tools available. Darkwing's trying to get in
Nice.
here. That's a nice flash crescent guard.
Oh.
Manui not going to go. Oh, Darkwings picks it up too. And that's the best case scenario.
Oh.
Aaron doesn't go down either. And it's Winnie that picks up that second kill.
Oh, the flash coming out from Poom at the end. I respect the idea, but it ends up getting taken down. And we were just
We got
praising
way too
Perry
cocky
for
in
his
the
ability
bot
to
lane there.
visualize the play on the dive, and now Winnie does the exact same thing.
Yeah,
He
like,
goes,
if
I do
we-
not need to throw a single skill shot. I can guarantee that I'm going to get this crowd control off. And now Young,
Nice,
That's
Young.
Darkwings not having the ability to get out of that one. Just gets bursted down even after the shockwave.
Good, good, good.
Same
And
soldier.
Perry held his ult too. Nice.
and blow for blow, these two junglers across the map are making so many different.
Yeah,
plays
bot lane,
happen at
I
the same
think, had
time.
a-
Like,
could have had a
equalize here in the
clue
mid lane for Young, they're
when the-
very
yeah, the
far
enemy
away.
team has, like,
But look at the
50
bot
health
lane
and they're
first
staying.
off of this. Aaron Aaron really playing the edge of what he can do before Winnie comes through. He knows that Minui and Poom are waiting for the wind becomes lightning in order to use their own flash, and again, using the flash proactively, making sure they can keep up to the 80 carry, and then as he chases down Poom,
Yeah,
tries
tried
to go for a
the
little bit of
flash
damage onto
kill.
Aaron to pick up that kill, but guaranteeing that
rookie
they
mistake.
have
Come on.
nowhere left to go,
Clean it up.
limiting all their options instead of just throwing out his mobility to start the fight.
Yeah. I'm surprised. I think Poom was trying to get in range for an ignite. I mean, that was 100%.
Top
kill
side's
with the
doing much
ignite
better
in the
this
end.
game
I guess he
around.
has the ability to get out of that one with some help, but it's really tight knit here between these two teams, and exactly kind of what I would expect with these two, and what I would want now. Back bottom again, because why
Yep.
not? Perry
Here we
looking
go.
for it. He's got that button, the kill button.
Nice
rather
flash.
onto Aaron has now beautiful turnaround. Aaron's still
No,
alive.
we even flashed for it
Wow,
too.
they actually get it right on back. A flash coming through from Aaron to dodge the arrow from Minui, saves his life, and helps him pick up the counter kill, and this game remains
Yeah,
blow
like
for
it's
blow
always
across the board. Quacker trying to get
always
his
try
one
cooking,
uncompared.
like, all the time.
Too.
Which I respect.
So,
You gotta make
have some
plays,
pressure up
but
there in top side of the map. Now the big
I
question
think
is, with
one
that pressure from
thing we
bottom
should
side
work
for
on
Wildcard,
is
they could
just
get their own
knowing
dragon to
a
start the
limitation.
stacking here, about 25 seconds out.
Tenacity,
meanwhile, we
you're
also
not
have the
doing
other
any
side of
damage to
Corruption
this
coming
dude,
with
bro.
Quacker having this much priority, it could just be it. Tenacity, you've overextended your hand
What
here as Quacker
are you doing?
He solo bolos him.
Every
I
single
don't really
game
know
you
what to
do
say
this,
about that one.
Tenacity.
That was just Tenacity being
This
being
seems
wrong?
like there was an issue.
Okay. I mean,
there's no way you step up like that. like
I gotta admit, that
Technical
one was a bit
pause?
baffling. Lennon, he just sat there and took it, which is not how you're supposed to do any kind of fighting ever. He just got slapped in
Never.
the face over and over again, and by the time he used the ghost, it was way.
Like, there's no reason to fight the Udia. You don't do damage to him.
I love it.
Yeah. We'll find out a little bit more about what the pause actually is. I really hope it has something to do with Tenacity's equipment. It is a lag spike is what we're hearing about. So if
It
it's
wasn't.
Tenacity... Whew,
It's Winnie.
it was Winnie. Oh, well.
It was Winnie. Oh no. Okay, we're not gonna. It's fine. It's fine.
Mazel,
It's fine.
I do want to set up a brief statement, right? We went into this split expecting that Tenacity was going to be the guy up in the top lane, right?
Him.
He was going to be Himothy, you know. And every single split of Challengers League and Academy before that, we've had that guy. And it was Tenacity for several splits that he was here.
It was.
He has not been that guy. And something that I kind of want to attribute it to is in most of their games, I feel as though Disguised bot lane has oftentimes been falling behind in times where we were not expecting them to. And so Tenacity has felt a need to actually fight and go for some of these more aggressive plays to create the space for the rest of his team to do something. This bot lane's winning this game. So, like, I don't know what the plan is on this one. And that is really setting Disguise in a spot where they might not have the tools to come back. And we know that Wildcard, they're the comeback kings.
They are, and the blow-for-blow nature of this game so far has led to where a kill like this actually means a lot. And we see it wasn't a
That's
lag
fucking
from
blows.
Tenacity, it was just a death as we get back into the game.
Yeah, and as we go back in, we are going to be
I don't know
seeing
what's
the
going
second
on with
dragon go over
Tenacity.
to Disguise. Ooh, they're going to be
It's
pulling
been 3
off, and
series
instead,
already, and I'm
Walker
seeing the
has
same
time
thing
to
of
come
just
and contest.
Oh,
dying in a
what?
1v1 that
Oh,
he
yeah,
had no
They
business of
want to. Wildcard
fighting in.
overextended. Winnie's just going in. What has happened? What?
Nice.
This pause has broken people's brains, and now we get the second dragon over to DSG.
Now, I can kind of excuse that one, right? Because Darkwings runs in. He runs in completely blindly, and then there's a good trap
Yeah.
set up by Disguise. I can excuse that. And then Winnie was kind of just also caught in the exact same net, so...
He fell
you know-
victim to the death wall, which
Yes.
is now what I refer to that wall in front of Dragon Pit, because literally, if you choose the 50-50 on which side you want to go on,
And you're
one
wrong?
of those is death.
Yeah.
Like every single time. I don't think I've seen a single person, if you don't have flash, you're dead. Like,
Yeah.
it's over.
That is, I am willing to excuse that, and I actually think that that was a good play from Disguise to turn away from the initial fight in order to go for the actual kills. But now, Wildcard are getting caught again.
Winnie just gets immediately cease and desist it. He will no longer be able to do
Oh.
anything, and Perry goes on a killing spree.
Ooh,
Quacker
stay
gets
alive,
caught
Perry.
too.
Get out of
It
there.
feels
The
like an
boy goes up to
avalanche
try to kill
has
him.
been headed the way of Wildcard.
Run.
And they're being taken. Oh, he gets him. Quacker gets the shutdown.
Nice
He gets
tenacity.
knocked back one more time, but Wildcard trying to make something happen on the other side. Darkwings gets one
we
back.
win this?
It's a 2v2,
Top
and
support
Darkwings
versus
and
support
Doxa
mid.
feeling confident.
I mean,
was
ultimately,
a
just
2 for
trading
2.
kills back
Evens
and
out.
forth. It is the 2 for 2 like you call out, and we see in the bottom lane, Aaron also used the culling. We don't know exactly why, but as we take another look at this, Winnie, he doesn't have the friends here yet. Doxa is still on his way. He starts the fight too quickly, and Disguise, they're happy to capitalize on it. But then after that, we get to see Udyr is kind of a good champion, you guys. He just is able to stand by himself in the middle of 4 members, and with that shield, with the extra auto attack power that comes through, he's able to find more kills. And in their chase, Disguise end up leaving Young just by himself, and Wildcard are going to be the ones. I think they were they got the first 3, so they should have the little Twitch chatters. That's you guys every single time the turrets start taking damage.
I've been spoiled because LPL has a grub counter, so my brain no longer tracks those things.
Yeah,
So,
but there it is.
It's hard.
You
We
see?
go, though. They got the 2 of them.
Yeah, I used to call them Twitch chatters. I kind of want to revise that a little bit to the plat chatters, because they will say the wildest things in chat and be absolutely convinced they're correct all the time, and then they'll just attack
Why are
you.
there so
In this
many
case,
of them?
have you not seen Twitch chat, Landon? There's a lot of people
It was
there.
a joke. It was a joke. Meanwhile, we do get some trade on the other side. Young trying to clean up some turret plates and actually doing a really good job of it with that Nashor 2 spike. I talked about it in draft. I feel like this one item spike for DSG is actually pretty strong, especially with that Sundered Sky completed for Perry. The setup is there.
Yes.
Here we go.
And Poom has a lot of tools. They have a.
Misses the
they're
root.
talking
All
about a lot of
good.
battlefield
Don't go
control.
in. Just chill.
Perry with the ultimate, like whenever
Free
you see
tower, we'll take it.
Aaron dash forward like that, you always have to ask, is this the moment for Perry? Is he going to punch him in the face and take him down? Well, right now, Wildcard are going to be doing their Rift Herald, and it's just a completely split map, and nobody has been matching Young. Darkwings is finally there, but Young has teleport to join the fight.
Tenacity is showing his face. The rest of DSG walking over here. The Rift Herald already gone. There's the cease and desist on the Aaron.
God.
Boom trying to cut
Nice.
them off. Aaron
Manui
gets
and Perry
blasted
killed the
there.
Lucian.
The shockwave does come back across here soon, hopefully.
But our
as
ADC
they're
got
getting
assassinated
the
as
damage
well.
down, and Winnie has gotten Manui. Quacker got Poom. And meanwhile, Tenacity's kind of popping off on the Cassante. A little bit of
So
fight from the
Orianna
bottom
tried to
side,
cancel
though.
our
I think
TP.
he's going to go ahead and use that when he finally did.
And
I saw some
she
fighting
did.
at bottom side, but he didn't actually pull the
She
trigger
interrupted
earlier. It means
with
like
her
Young actually
with
gets
her
the
out,
upper
right?
hand down here.
So we traded
And
1 for 1.
Disguise, they're also going to be able to just hit this mid lane because Perry is the only one alive in the center of the map. This is one thing that Wildcard have been having both success and detriment, is they are so committed to bringing everybody to a certain part of the fight. And Doxa, he's like, okay, well maybe we can prevent this guy. Oh, he stops the Q.
Perry getting blasted now by the culling. He's trying to take down Doxa. He's a melee range. The shutdown 450.
I mean,
Aaron.
definitely overstayed his
Turret
welcome there.
survives as well. That's a really big potential gold swing that we just saw, but I hope we
Yeah,
get a
just a
replay
lot of
that
these,
last
like,
fight around the
hey,
because I want to point out
what are you doing?
Doxa's path throughout that whole thing.
What
was
are you doing?
incredibly funny.
But
now
mistakes
we
are
should see
fine.
this structure go down. Manui and
This
Poom
is the
will finish
NACL.
what
Don't
Perry
expect
started,
perfect
and they
play.
open this
The
up
most
and
important thing is
create
they
more
experience
space
that
for
and they
upcoming
think to
Dragon
themselves,
response
oh,
in only 30 seconds. It feels as though Disguise,
I shouldn't do
they've
that.
held this small lead.
But if it's the
throughout
same
most of
mistake
the
day
game,
after
and
day,
this is
week
where it
after
can
week,
really
that's
come
the
to a
issue.
head. If they can take this down and prevent Wildcard from starting to get the counter stacking in.
Yeah, I
it'll
mean, that one
happen
was just,
so
what are
much
you
as the game
doing?
gets
Like,
longer.
what are you doing there?
All I'm saying is, are you not entertained? It is 18 kills in 16 minutes, and both these teams are just vying for that skirmish-heavy control that we highlighted from draft. It favors both of them to be this aggressive, and the fact that we just have a carousel of action going on is right for me. We get the TP in mid lane there. That will be Darkwings coming to
Dragon
join.
number
Priority in mid lane is
3.
important for
I
this
think they
Dragon.
want to fight for this
Both
one.
these waves
And
are
so
not in
do
a good
we.
spot for Wildcard. This is one of the things that we were criticizing them
Careful,
when they
Young.
were
You're our best
AoE.
player. This
They now
Udyr
are
trying to get Young.
find some space, but they are on both sides of the fight, and we know that Winnie's going to look for an engage at some point.
They actually have.
Yeah,
presence
Shinzal's trying to
here.
come
They won't be
in.
able to get too much from mid
We
lane,
got
though.
the
Darkwings
poke.
needs to come join the team. Quacker, very strong as a frontliner, and that's who you got to watch for. He can just run at people like Young and Manui.
They've lost a lot of vision. Darkwings.
Oh!
Darkwings again gets caught.
Nice.
All good, all
Blood
good.
cone, beautiful. beautiful. As that wild card going back in. Ball delivery system engaged. Shockwave gonna be used. They try to get tenacity here.
Shinzao, I'm Manui. Shinzao, I'm Manui. Help him, help him, help him. Nice.
Fighting all over the place, and Winnie's already gone.
Oh, but two of us died in the
dive.
dive.
Oh my gosh, so many small parts of that fight going one way or another, but Quacker on the deer, still alive, a wild card, left in control of the area around the dragon, but Perry's the one with Smite, and he is still alive.
I mean, that's just an easy pickup for wildcard here, even if you do get a little bit of presence from DSG. Perry is still at the red buff here. Gonna sneak around the back, only 5,000. Quacker is gonna be the bodyguard. I think wildcard realized there might be something going on here. 3,000 health, and Perry finally seen. He will be spotted out. Yep, the yellow card comes flying out and says Perry needs to get out of here. The dragon does go over wildcard. Quacker just making sure Perry goes all the way home.
Yeah, he's able to get out of that one at least, but, you know, coming over, if he's going to go for the smite, he actually has to go for the smite, ends up getting pushed away by Quacker. Good job from Wildcard to secure that. That is another one of their major strengths, as they are so good at taking objectives and committing to them when their opponents don't think it's possible, right? The number of times they'll sneak a Baron, the number of times they'll sneak a Dragon is way higher than most other teams in the league. And so, we're back to a position where DSG have a little bit of an advantage, but it feels as though they're kind of losing the thread throughout the course of this game, and now Winnie looking for an opportunity to try and pick on Young a little bit, but he does now realize he is spotted.
We do have second item completions really coming to a head here. That's why I want to check in on the win conditions that we were talking about coming out of draft, especially because we got the Serix gauge now, obviously a little bit for Perry. We have that rapid fire clan completed for Aaron, giving him that range. These are huge item differentials that can come across.
Yeah. I also kind of want to talk about the fact that Manui has opted to go for a lethality style build here instead of, you know, an on-hit build that is also very popular for the bars. And also the fact that Wildcards is like, yeah, we don't need that. We can just give that turret over to Tenacity if he wants it. The fact that Manui has gone for this means that their ability to kill...
Whoa, we're going deep for this one.
It goes in onto Aaron. Jox is going to flash. That's a breath of life already used. Is it going to be enough? The cleanse.
That's fine. I mean, we just ulted, right? Ult for a flash. We take
you're on vision.
Winnie is
oh yeah, just Shinzao's out of position. That's good. Just stay together. Help each other. Help each other.
Quacker. Okay, guys, calm down.
Help each other.
We just keep going.
We calm. We're gonna take some deep breaths.
Nice.
Winnie's dead. We can stop fighting now. It's okay. But
yeah, we get a
I was
pick.
just saying,
we don't
one
have
of the
to
big
do more
things
than
about
that.
this is that they don't have as many tools to actually punch through Winnie and Quacker during these upcoming fights. And so the front to back that I was really crediting them for earlier is much diminished. And so with the gold lead maintaining this like 500 to 1,000 lead consistently for DSG, and the fact that the Mountain has gone over to Wildcard, I'm actually starting to look at a situation where I feel as though Wildcard have much better opportunities to win this game because they don't die. And now Poom, looking for something cheeky. Gotta get in line.
Poom! Poom!
You're not in line!
You didn't listen. You didn't get the memo. Well.
We know that he's not British. They're way better at queuing than that.
Ah, I see, I see.
That's
an important factor to keep in mind. Meanwhile, Tenacity and Young has just started up the
We're
Baron.
trying to sneak a Baron here?
They immediately pull off, though, as Tenacity had lost a decent chunk of health.
Look how little damage Manui is actually doing to Quacker throughout.
Yeah.
Throughout this, like, we are going to see Quacker be a massive problem during a lot of these fights. Already 3-1-3, and now he's going to be trying to create even more space for the rest of his team. Now, the one thing that I do want to give a little bit of credit for is that Aaron, despite the fact that he's taken at least 3 or 4 cease and assists coming out from Perry, he's only died once, right? We've only seen him go down relatively early in the game, and now Wildcard are in a position where they are controlling the area around the Baron, and they do it reasonably fast. And with a whole minute and a half before the next Dragon starts, they either need to respond to Tenacity or start hitting the Baron.
And that's where the conversation of like the lethality build Varus is very interesting to me for Manui, because you would just have 2 of the fastest Baron burning members.
No.
But Quacker gonna need to find a way to deer his way out of
We're
this
TPing
one.
as well.
We
miss our Nico ult.
Going a little bit wide. They do get the root there in the end, and Quacker is 1 shot away,
No
but he's
way.
a fast deer, and he's running the Vault Breaker charge.
We use like 10 flashes. Meanwhile, ADC's dead.
was just left out of the party and taken out.
And that's a lot of
We
ability.
used
Multiple ultimates being used. Here comes
3
Darkwings.
ults
Oh, Wildcard want to
and
punish this so
4
bad. Watch
sums.
out. Tenacity and Parry are behind them.
He didn't use a single sum. He just walked.
Wind becomes lightning, so Alcove Gaming, and we got chaos in the recipe. As Boom is
Oh!
now dead. Meanwhile, the other side is still popping off. Young, he's still alive. Last auto attack goes through. Wildcard are cleaning house now.
Why
That's
were we
4
spending
members
4
down
dudes,
from
4
DSG.
outs, 4
What a
sums
chaotic
for
fight
one
yet
Udyr that
again,
didn't
but
even have
Wildcard,
to
they
use
have the
any
smite, They
abilities?
have both DPS members still alive.
Right?
They're going to be starting the Baron. It's only Tenacity.
Honestly, that wasn't
Rudy's
that
on
bad.
his
What the
way.
fuck are you talking
That's a
about?
Cassante, my friend. I don't know if you
How is that not bad? How was that good?
He'll do Cassante things.
But even if he
Quacker's here
goes-
now, though.
Even if he goes all in, he doesn't have all out, so he is going to have to back away.
You on drugs? That was
And
bad.
Left on the next dragon. They do
How
have
is losing
some
3
fortitude
players
to
and
try
using
and
4
make that
ults and 3
happen.
summoners to
So
kill
Wildcard, they're gonna get these
Justin
guys off before
Udyr
they get to the
a
dragon.
good trade?
Try and contest that.
Do you
And the
understand
fact that
trading?
Going towards top lane makes me think they are not worried about this objective. So, Wildcard, this is the first time that they've actually had a definitive lead throughout the course of this game. They got the Baron, they have a gold lead as well. They say, that's okay, you can have the dragon. We're going to go right on back to the rest of the fight. And Manui, trespassing.
He thought.
Yeah,
Oh. he got caught
trespassing.
looking.
Just
Yeah.
trespassing.
I think he got caught looking up there because.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, our ADC just should not have been caught. Like, if our
Then
ADC
we get
didn't
the
get
rest of the
caught,
play
it's a
here, the
5v4,
chaos, that is
right?
Watch Parry and Darkwings in this fight. I think it's definitely the most interesting thing because Winnie just kind of goes right on in, and everybody else is trying to follow up on that. But as Parry goes for this, look at this flash, and he tries to get the Q off, but Darkwings flashes immediately out of it, trying to dodge the Q, and that definitely changes the fight. If that Q from Parry does connect, Darkwings dies, Young lives, and you're actually in a position where you're fighting on even terms.
Meanwhile, we're back to normalcy. Quacker's just running at people again. Those mites really coming to work here with the Baron
Good
buff.
job, Twitch chat.
Good job.
That's
good
you
job.
guys.
You're doing great.
You're doing great.
You're buffed up by Baron. I don't. How does Baron buff Twitch chatter?
They got
They're
4.2k
subs to the
lead.
channel.
That's crazy.
And they get the
Oh,
cool
nice.
emotes. All
Okay,
right,
okay,
Quacker,
I like
round 2. All right, never mind, he's fine.
No,
Okay.
you got baited.
Yeah, one of the things that we have been noticing throughout the course of this game is that Wildcard, one of the reasons why they've had success is they are so consistent at committing to whatever the bit happens to be. And this game has been, we are not going to care about the bottom lane at all. We will get that gold eventually, like when it is convenient to us. But nobody has really been going towards the bottom side, whereas Disguise, they got the first turret in the bottom lane, but ever since, they have not been committed to actually trying to punish that play from Wildcard. And because Wildcard is so committed to whatever play they're doing, Disguise has not been able to find that. And one of the things that we have been looking at on this team, you got a lot of pedigree on this roster. Tenacity has been that guy. Parry has been consistently a player that will make top 4 in a lot of these different leagues over the course of his career. Young won last time, and so we were continuing to see that all these players, I wonder if we're seeing a position where there are too many cooks in this kitchen, and everyone wants to do something a little bit different.
And that's the crazy thing, right? Because you highlighted it. It was DSG who literally won last summer as our champion. It's really important to state that they have changed the roster, everybody but Young. But the conversation becomes is we've lauded this team because of those power pieces they've grabbed from these other teams, right? You've gotten the Manui Parry combo that you really had a lot of fun watching last year, but also Poom coming down. A lot of these pieces look good on paper, but that's the thing about NACL with the way that Fearless works out, with the way that our system works out. You've got to be able to perform together and synergize. And we've seen teams fall out of the bottom because of that. Winnie got an angle here, but he's a little bit lonesome. Does force the rest of DSG out of there.
Aaron gets a
I feel
lot
like
of
we
first
could have
round
killed
gold
Winnie
off the
there,
clone.
right?
But I do
3v1
want to
alone.
have you watched any of Toast stream while he like co-streams our games?
I did last year. I haven't watched this year.
It was very funny last week when they were playing up against, I think it was Team Liquid. Oh, we'll get to it in a sec.
Was that Krug worth it? Let's see the shockwave.
If we don't kill
Might be.
this Jin Zhao,
Surviving so much, but Tenacity doesn't
what are we?
wanna let go.
Are we gonna kill him? Are we gonna kill him or what?
Yeah, Quacker's the hammer.
Oh,
and
no.
they've delivered them to justice. The Boom Pop Blossom doesn't do anything. And Quacker's the thing you fear in the night. The one that comes, the deer that comes for it all. And Darkwings picks it up. Wildcard are off to the races.
Oh, no.
And there ain't nothing DSG can do here. Perry's just trying to fight out Doxa, but it's a supportal difference. And bot lane is just broken.
I think this is the perfect time to use the quote that Toast had watching his team. I hope someone was win trading because that was not good. That was the kind of play. They were so committed to trying to kill Witty, but they were out of range. You had Manui and Young not able to do any damage, and they're going to be giving up an inhibitor and nearly a 10,000. We're at 8,500 gold here for Wildcard. They're going to get their backs up. They're going to be in time to get to this dragon. And Wildcard, they're not done. Oh, Boom didn't check the bush. Okay, but they saw the ball. They saw the ball.
Like, I legit think
Poop does have the
someone on my
help
team is
back.
betting
It's
against
extra
ourselves.
body, if you will. Oh god.
Oh, jeez.
Like, I know this sounds harsh and mean coming
What
from the
could we
boss.
say?
It's like, no, boss, we just suck. Nah, I think someone is actually gambling against our own team. Probably has like a relative somewhere putting up 50K every single game. Bet against DSG, don't worry. What's going on? What's happening? This shit's been embarrassing.
This guy is in a 5-game losing streak at this point. Wildcard is not a team to be underestimated. The Slew Core, Quacker coming in. They're taking control. They find another win up against another team that everybody thought was going to be one of our top contenders.
Wildcard doubters in shambles. Absolutely clean. And
Like,
you'll love to see, again, a pre-existing...
Like, you guys are good League of Legends players, right? What's going on? Is this like there's too much alphas on the team? Is this just too much good players on a team we're going negative? Like, what the fuck is happening? I don't understand. Because I don't want to have to fire anyone. So they need to fix this. If you don't fix it, I am forced to make a change. I don't like firing people. Work together, talk to each other, figure out what's wrong, and fix it. Because week after week, you guys are showing up with the same sorry-ass performance. To be fair, this game we weren't down 10K by the 20-minute mark. So I guess there is some kind of improvement. Ah, don't show me the old DSG players. It hurts too much. Yes, we know all the DSG players went to LCS. Okay, we get it. We're all very happy for them.
Yeah, this kid. He actually didn't win an academy, but a lot of people thought he was good, and boy, were they right. This guy made Worlds his very first year as a player. It took him a while to get back. He even played with this kid.
They're going to be able to burst him down. He's trying to be able to get away with the help from the hollow ground, but he just can't. Tony shots views. He's wild grip, and they got the kill they need to.
But then, they did all of this together.
Walking into the brush. Contract is ready to go. Dokla follows it up, and the helicopter crash lands. Contract gets the 4th kill of the game there for Energy.
You know all of these names, but do you know the names of who's next? The future of the LCS starts right after the LCS.
The future? DSG doesn't have a future, man. Our future's over. What is happening? I don't even know where the problem is. It just feels like everywhere. It feels like it's on an individual basis. I feel like it's on a team synergy basis. I feel like it's on decision making level. I feel like it's like judgment, team fight. What's that copy pasta? DSG is a good team. They just need to work on teamwork, gameplay, communication, map control, awareness.
Place in that last game. Welcome back to the LCS Challengers League presented by Subway. I'm Azel. I'm joined by Joshi. And
I'm getting pissed. In Valorant on a 0-11 streak, I got sad. Now, I'm done being sad. Now I'm just mad. Like, being sad, I'm over that. Like, oh, my team sucks. The players are bad. Whatever. Nah. No more pussy crying shit. I'm angry. Because I know you guys can be better than this. And if you can't fix it, if you can't get it together, then what are you doing here? I need all of you to be committed to becoming a better team together. Or else you're going to end up like the last Valorant team. You know what happened to the last Valorant team? Exploded. 4 out of 5 players retired. I don't want that. I do not want that. So fix it. Jesus Christ, man. You guys get paid to play video games for a living. In this economy? And you're going to show up playing like that?
Yeah. I mean, it started off in a position where it didn't feel that bad, right? Because their very first series was up against FlyQuest Challengers, who a lot of fans and a lot of analysts had FlyQuest listed in a tier of their own at the very tippy top of the standings.
Get your shit together. I'm done. I'm done being nice.
Also not having a great season so far. And now they're going up against Wildcard, who people were not expecting quite as much of. Disguise, after this series, is going to be a third of the way through their regular season. They will only have 6 more series after that in order to try and bring this one back. And so, right, they need to figure it out relatively quickly. They don't have a whole lot of time, and it felt like they were close. They had a good early game plan, and we got to see it coming out of Perry in particularly. Now, we need to see how they can transition
Perry
that
did good with the early game,
plan.
though. He had some really good games
I just
and
say,
dives.
like, if you missed that game, go watch it again.
It's fun.
Because, like, there was literally chess
Ghosty,
being
thank you
played
for the
on
sub.
the board. It felt like in Summoner's Rift. Because, like, the way that Perry and Winnie think about the game, the way that they think about each other as well. I know they have a lot of respect for each other as well, but, like, the fisticuffs that were drawn consistently in that game, not only through junglers, but lanes as well. I think it was really cool to watch. It was one of our, I feel like, most chaotic games we've had of the split so far.
Interesting.
So,
See, I kind of feel as though this was one of the best games to display that League of Legends is a turn-based game at the highest level, right? You would see
That's all
Winnie
you really
take
wanna
his
get
turn,
to.
and then you get Perry, he got to take his turn. And it just happens to be that both
go
of
get some
them
water.
basically always had their
Cool
turns
off.
work. And so eventually when you started taking this turns at the same time, you actually started having to play around the Baron and the Dragon. That's where we got to see that Disguised were not as coordinated as their opponents this game.
if we're gonna keep making Warhammer references, by the end of round 5, the Gambit was not.
We were talking about
available
chess.
for that. No,
We could talk about Warhammer. I'm happy to.
I think a little calmness is going to do both teams a lot more justice in game number 2. I do wonder if that is what we'll get, because we do know the propensity for aggression that both these junglers do have. But the way that the draft worked out, when you get a Vison's out, that's what you're going to get, right? But if we do start getting like the Maokai's, things like that, it does become different, because we also have to highlight that it is Fearless Draft. And so we are not going to get the same picks for the teams that pick them in the game number 1 that we are in game number 2.
And I'm a little bit worried for Disguise, because they are going to be on the blue side once again, and The biggest champion that I am worried is going to be disappearing from their pool is Varus, right? We have seen that multiple times going up against Disguise. A lot of teams will ban out 5 bot laners going into Manui. And we got to see, like, his answer used to be, like, well, I guess I'll just play Ezreal as my 8th best champion that I can play right now because 7 of them have already been banned. And so this has definitely been a position where, with Varus already taken off the table, there aren't really any other S-tier AD carries other than Kalista. I don't know if I've ever seen Manui play that character.
Yeah, I'd be very curious. I'm also very curious to get into the games, but unfortunately we have a little bit of a delay. So we'll be back very shortly. We're going to go ahead and kick it over to our player survey video, though, and we'll see you there.
I think TLC will win. We'll have no issues at all.
Probably FlyQuest. I hold a lot of respect for like a lot of their players, so probably the favorite to win.
Can I say myself? Yeah, I think FlyQuest is the favorite to win the split.
Area of Effect Gaming. I think they're individually just so cracked that it doesn't matter who they're up against.
Well, that would be my team, because it's my team. I mean, who roots against themselves, you know? Us or FlyQuest, because I think we're the best 2 teams.
I'd say it's probably FlyQuest, I mean, or ourselves. I mean, I can't ever count myself out.
Yumi.
Yumi?
I don't know. I mean, honestly, I'll just say Yumi.
That champ just like is useless, and then whenever the champ is useful, like the game kind of sucks, you know?
The community will have my back on that one. So yeah, just Yumi.
Well, this is embarrassing.
I think it's Zoe. She's just the mid lane champ that wins jungle matchups. And I also don't even really want it on my team, so I just say Zoe.
Zed. I hate Zed. They just farm with Q from far and then they think they're good when they press R. I think like if you're a Zed OTP and you can play Zed and you like have like the basic combos down, it shoots you up like a whole tier at least.
I think I'll choose Zeri. Kind of like the peak of Zeri Yumi meta, and like Zeri Lulu meta was
What the
kind
fuck
of the
opened
beta
my
meta top
Skype?
lane.
I want to dunk on Shochi. He's a good friend of mine, and he's a good laner, and I want to dunk on him.
All of them. All of them, but in particular, every support player that exists, hands down. Just pick one.
Quad. So badly. So badly actually. This guy has 87 LCK games. He just dropped 2 nukes in his most recent game. So if I can drop a nuke on that guy, then it's gonna look good for me.
Messages unlit. Give him a little reality check.
I'll just choose Dragoon. I mean, we're the 2 like Darius players and ACL, and there's only space for one, I guess. I'll just say that.
I just want to be AoE because I think I'm friends with a lot of them, and it would just feel good, yeah.
Damn, no one's talking about DSG anymore. Okay, if we
I would
lose
do
this
full
series
fearless
0-2,
LCS, not even the
I'm sending
NACL
a
fearless.
message.
Like the both teams can't play the champ.
I don't know. I think it's in a good state right now. I'm liking the.
You're too toxic.
Games on the weekends.
Take the free money, I chill,
Fuck.
and I listen to the people. You know, I'll be a good commissioner.
Nah, I tried being nice. I tried being nice with the new Valorant team. With our old Valorant team, sorry. That was nice of them. Got me nowhere.
I think I just throw everything out the window, honestly. Like, go full fearless draft in LCS or something. Yeah, just
I've already speed ran the nice CEO esports owner arc.
definitely makes you have to think a little bit differently. Obviously, the champs you just picked are not available anymore, so the next game has to be different.
It's interesting because you're still going to play like the meta champs, and only if it goes to game 3 does it really feel like you have to pull something out of your pocket.
I've always had like a pretty solid champion pool. I think that I kind of have more of an advantage.
The one weird thing of Fearless is maybe flex pick value is slightly lower than it used to be. For example, Karma's buffed. If you pick it support, you can't play it mid or top or whatever in the next games. It takes getting used to, but I think once people get used to it, it's good changes.
Fearless is
Time to go full Reginald? Wow, I'm not gonna scream at my players.
a bit out of their comfort zone. For me, I play every champ, so I don't care.
I really wish if it was fearless, it would be both sides have the fearless. You know, one side picks a champ, both teams can't play it. But I think so far it's pretty decent.
Well, too far.
For our first match, I meditated with JJ, our assistant coach, and Daption and Lens. I think that is gonna be my new pre-game routine.
I always take some time.
Both you.
I need to find that design for rant.
What are you doing to get ready to do it, man? Bro? God damn, man. For this shit already. What the fuck in?
I mean, I don't know what the fuck you want from me. Yeah.
Dumbass! First fuck.
That's just the fucking dumbest shit I've ever heard you say today. Like, what the fuck was that?
You're a fucking moron! That's what! Dumbass! First fucking game? The fuck are you doing? Don't get fucking nervous! No fucking jitters, no nothing! Like, dude! You're the one that gets it, bro! You're the one that brings it in! Fucking leave it at the door! Come to fucking work!
Chill.
I ain't fucking mental, dude! Lock it the fuck in! Get comfortable being fucking uncomfortable.
We need this on a shirt. If DSG makes it to LAN, I want this printed on a shirt, on a poster, on mugs. That shit would sell like hotcakes.
Yeah.
This
What are you laughing about?
This should be our company motto.
Oh, it's not fucking funny.
I mean, I don't. That's just the fucking dumbest shit I've ever heard you say today. Like, what the fuck was that?
You're a fucking moron! That's what! Dumbass! First fucking game? The fuck are you doing? Don't get fucking nervous! No fucking jitters, no nothing! Like, dude! You're the one that gets it, bro! You're the one that brings it in! Fucking leave it at the door! Come to fucking work!
Chill.
I ain't fucking mental, dude! Lock it the fuck in! Get comfortable being fucking uncomfortable.
I swear to God, he wrote some of these down ahead of time and was just stringing it all together. Like he had 5 separate motivational phrases, and he was just going through each one. Like I feel like I've heard that phrase before. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. My favorite typical phrase is, if winning was easy, everyone would do it. Ah, man, we've been losing so much. I want to cry. This sucks too, because I feel like this year is really important for League of Legends. Because if we win this year, I'm going to try and convince Riot to give me a franchise spot. And if not, I'm leaving. But I can't even do that because we're not even winning. How to motivate my League of Legends players to become better. Coming out there, collecting a positive support. Set clear goals. Establish clear and achievable goals. Create a positive team environment. Offer constructive feedback. Encourage team bonding. Utilize individual motivators. Invest in training and resources. Schedule regular practice sessions. Encourage self-reflection. Promote healthy competition. Focus on well-being. Reward progress. Professional development. Set clear goals. All right, I can do that. Win the fucking season. All right? Is that clear? Is that clear? Is that achievable? Step 1 done. Step 2, create a positive team environment. Look, just because I'm loud doesn't mean I'm angry. We all want the same thing. We all want to win. I don't care if you suck now. Y'all been sucking. What I care about is just being better. Not just in game, but in real life too. Are you a better person at the end of this year? Are you healthier? Did you eat better? Did you get more fit? Did you get more emotionally in touch with yourself? Did you improve on your friendship? That's what I care about. And if you achieve that, who cares about video games? But you have to try. You have to come in every day with the goal of, I'm going to be a better person. Okay? Don't just show up. Don't phone it in. If you want to phone it in, go somewhere else. But here at DSG, we just want what's the best for you. But if you don't want what's the best for you, what can we do? All right, there we go. Offer constructive feedback. Stop taking 1v1s you're going to lose. I'm going to be honest. We're fighting way too much 1v1s with the expectation we're him. We're not them. We're not him. We're not she, he, they, them, him, her. Stop trying to 1v1. Kill the enemy team more. I don't know. Encourage team bonding. You guys like Among Us? How about we all get into an Among Us lobby and have a good time? Utilize individual motivation. Understand what motivates each player. Some may be driven by competition. I don't know, man. Oh no, I can't, bro.
Game 2.
Yeah, and it is interesting to watch as well, right? Because we know that I kind of want to touch on like the staff that they have, because Inero has been the coach for Disguised so far, and we know he had a lot of success when he was working with Golden Guardians. But this team has not kind of come out of it, and one of the things that we
before making any decision, clearly understand why you feel the need to disband the team.
Very good at
we're losing.
The rest of the team.
Plan a conversation.
I thought it was going to be Perry. We know that there's lots of very vocal members on this team, but it hasn't
approach is
coalesced
often more
into
respectful.
the team that we need to see.
Choose right time and
it
setting.
hasn't, but we're gonna see if it does now.
Set a private
DSG
and comfortable setting. Does talent this to Twitch chat count? Does that count as private or comfortable?
Series winless.
Communicate clearly and respectfully. Provide support and guidance. Handle logistics.
I really want to see if they can pull
reflect
it through.
and
Yeah,
learn.
game winless.
Who's reflecting and learning? Am I reflecting and learning, or are the players reflecting and learning? Communicate with remaining team members. Hey, ain't no one's gonna remain. We keep losing like this. Ain't no one's remaining. We're taking our talents to Southeast Asia again. We moved our Valorant team there, and damn it, I'll move my League of Legends team there too. Don't think I won't. I've already did it.
Taking off some.
Get ready to learn Chinese.
To play around the Azir. How do we play around Manui's champion pool? Because I'm fully expecting another ban towards Manui right here in order to make sure that there are at least 4 champions that Manui cannot play. There are, a couple of specialists. I would not be terribly surprised if we saw an Akali ban in the second half of the draft, but you aren't locked into playing the Azir just because your opponents have already played it.
Dude, do you just get Manui on your team to make sure that you get free 3 bans from your enemy at this point? Like, literally every series against this man. Like, how confidence building is that for Manui at this point? I'm hoping to see a tweet at some point later on from him. Like, come at me, guys. How many bans do I take? The Carva is the first lock-in for DSG, though.
Yeah. I mean, already coming through, we do see the VARs going right on over to Wildcard.
Karma.
This has been something that Aaron has played plenty in the past, but with the Karma coming through and with the Malignant build being popular, it has been something we have started to see pop up in the mid lane as well, with just a lot of tools, a lot of aggression, very possible with this champion. And honestly, when you spike super early in the game, it creates a lot of opportunities for you to create pressure in the mid lane that your opponent has to deal with. With this Cassandre already picked up, I wonder if Tenacity's counter pick is going to be, because you have to do something very different.
Shout outs to Perry for the. Oh, he actually locked. I thought he was just hovering it, but we actually get the Jhin lock in. So Jhin Karma can be a very deadly bot lane. Still a lot of flexibility for the Karma though itself.
Now, Lennon, as a Jhin aficionado,
yes,
could you explain
That's my
in
answer.
one sound what you feel about playing Jhin into Cassante? Yeah, I'm a little bit worried that we're seeing the Jhin after the Cassante has already been picked.
Do I turn
He's
my
a great
statue around
champion.
so he can't see.
Faces the wall. Don't look. You know, we'll see.
Cassante.
We'll see that we already have the tenacity on the Olaf. You do have an opportunity to put the Cassante really far behind in this situation. So there are ways to dominate both side lanes, but this is, again, Wildcard have been outperforming a lot of their expectations in relation to their laning phase early in the game, with Darkwing's going on to one of his specialty picks in the Azir. They also grab it on their third pick on the red side, meaning that they can now ban some of the major things that Young wants to play into it.
Crazy. It's kind of crazy how that
like a
works out.
dance
The
move.
Akali, first and foremost, great ban. Immediately also thinking about some of the other things we've seen around pro play going to be banned. But the biggest question for me becomes disguised bans here, because you do need to find a way to whittle down that engage support focus, but they're going to go ahead and target Winnie's pool right now.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
the
it kind of
Bandit
makes sense.
Collie.
It feels though Doxa has had more success in some of his Enchanter play than some of his
Absolutely.
Engage play. So you don't necessarily need to look at that quite as heavily. There's already plenty of tools on the side of Wildcard to dictate how fights are actually starting. So I really like this Jarvan ban. The next question then becomes, how else can you lock down Winnie's ability to run the game? Because on the Xinjiao, he had a pretty decent time and lived for inordinately long amounts of time as well.
Thank you, Wildcard.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
It's
you.
okay. People don't build this
Thank you.
champion correct anyway, so...
The only person in the LPL that has a pass to play Corki from our entire broadcast team is Rookie, if that tells you something. I think that's pretty lofty expectations there. But we do want to see some more of that. I would expect Perry to maybe, since we saw that first cycle of bans, go ahead and focus a little bit more onto Winnie. The Poppy actually taken away, because there was threat of Wildcard taking that from Perry here in the second phase.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting as well, because the Steadfast Presence currently gets 0 value going into the side of DSG, and so instead, I'm expecting to see kind of a support pick here. This is one of those places where, wow, Wildcard is like, we are going to fight you head on.
Oh,
Very
let's
careful.
prank.
I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it down. All right,
You're going to put it down? It's that bad?
You know, Jhin having to face up against a Cassante, an Azir, and a Blitzcrank.
It's a tough spot.
Real bad.
It's a very tough spot, and we are going to be seeing Young very likely going towards this LeBlanc. They've been hovering it for a long time. It is something that he has had success on, and we just saw that there are different ways to play it. But unfortunately, Lennon...
Anyone who gets grabbed more than 5 times, 5 times or more, is getting fired. Get grabbed once, that's normal. Twice? 3 times? 4 times? I'll let it slide. You get grabbed 5 times? Unless you're a tank. If you're a tank and get grabbed, it's fine. Anyone who's not a tank gets grabbed 5 times? You're looking for a new job. Huge drafters. What are you talking about? I don't know enough League of Legends to agree or disagree.
Has playing 1-3-1 side lane style games. But we just saw a game where Wildcard didn't go bot lane to respond to Young. They didn't go bot lane to respond to Tenacity, and they never even got the second tier turret. So this is definitely going to be a big gauntlet slap across the face to Disguise saying, we don't believe you. We don't think you can do any of that, as we are going to be suffering a little bit from another tech delay. Unfortunately, one of our players was not able to load into the game, and so you have to listen to us, and I'm going to hang on to the button to start the game.
With the way we've been playing, I would believe if none of our players have been loading into the games. Sorry, I know I'm being toxic, but you guys gotta give me something. It's not the losing that bothers me. It's how we're losing. Like the way we're losing, it's so convincing. It's so like we do dumb shit. It's not like, oh, that was a close game. GG's all around. It's just like even when we have to lead, it feels like we don't have to lead. Like we lost games last year with our previous team. Those losses felt normal. I was like, yeah, sometimes you lose. It's all right. They played better. We made a mistake here and there. These games are just like, tell us it's because you don't trust them. Yes, they can feel this energy inside the game through the ether. Shut the fuck up. What's this magic voodoo juju stuff? You think they can feel my energy?
Would have a lot of success just flipping the game early, and then you just run away with it. And I think there's an opportunity for Disguise to do that.
It's okay
in this
to
game
be
as
bad.
well. However, this is not a plat league, and Disguised are not a team that we should be looking at like, oh, well, I guess we'll
Okay
just
to be
flip
bad.
the game then. So
Better.
I'm really hoping that if Disguised are able to find this win, it doesn't become the standard in the way that they are looking to play, because I know these players are better than that, and they just need to figure out how to work together and actually go for some of these game plans, because Wildcard, as we've touched on many times, you have Winnie on your team, you have a shot caller, you know what your game plan is, you follow the leader, and then you just get into every single fight.
And it comes back to the conversation of pre-built synergies and the fact that this wildcard roster is so much percentage going the way of Slew and how long they've played together before as well. I think it's super important to highlight. And for DSG, it's a team that's coming together around a stayed member in Young and really trying to find those synergies where they've had sporadic weeks, right? Like,
Okay.
played week 1.
You're right, Chad. You know, for one game, I'm going to be positive. We picked these players for a reason. And it wasn't by accident that we ended up with this team. Sure, we have some growing pains. But that's every team. You're not going to come into every single game as a brand new team and expect to do well. It takes time. So I'm going to believe in the system. Even if we lose this game, it's fine. As long as they're getting better. As long as they're improving every single day, that's all I can ask for. Because life on this earth is really short. And we shouldn't spend it getting mad at video games.
We did get a nice Twitch chatter.
Yes.
Elephant Bush says that you have great looking facial hair. That's your comment.
Okay, let's get started.
Have been playing a lot better than a lot of people were expecting. This is a situation where they have to be very careful in a lot of their lanes. Tenacity has an opportunity to create a lot of prio and move along with Parry. Young has the opportunity to just kill Darkwings, depending on how some of these early trades actually go. He even went with the Electrocute. And then in the bottom lane as well, you were already talking about the power that Minui and Poom have with this Jin and Karma. And Doxa, I mean, you know, it depends. Is he feeling good? Is he landing every hook? Great,
But
you
that's
win the game.
thing. You land one hook on Jin without a flash, it's over.
Yeah,
He
but
did
he's
go
got
with
the flash.
boots. I
You
like
have to
the
land two of
boots.
them.
He did. Look at that. A little bit of level 1 status going on here for both sides as well, and I like this move from DSG just to
Ooh,
try to find something. Because, again, coming into this, they are the team that really needs to try to find something. Because we've already talked about this, the stability of Wildcard's composition, but it's really looking at DSG to have those advantages early in the game.
I have to admit, I'm very surprised that Doxa was allowed to get away with just standing there. You know, he was in a spot where it's like, hey, he was standing in a part of the bush where he was not going to see them on the other side of the 50-50 of the wall, you know? The death wall. Yeah. Anyway, he might take a little bit more death bush coming out of this as well.
Good damage.
That's not...
Good damage.
Could be a
All
lot
I'm
worse.
saying is Rock Boom went like 9-0 or whatever. He used the same skin.
Oh.
Oh my god!
Ow.
I'm sorry, Manui. That's not a good start, you know? Because once one hits on a gen, it feels like
That's
every
one.
single one. It's like you just need the target locking to go one time, and then every time after that, it's just going to connect.
Yeah,
That's what happens when I play it.
Ooh, well, they're a little bit better than we are, turns out.
You know, I'd say so.
But either way, it is still a spot where it looks like they did, I believe they did deny a melee minion of experience coming out to Aaron and Doxa, and, oh no, just Doxa.
Yeah, it looks like just Doxa.
So this is going to be an opportunity here for them to abuse Doxa for a little while longer, and so that first hook burning one of the 4 potions that Minui did have at the very beginning of the game can be very important. But going back to where the jugglers are, going to that for the first time, Winnie is now on the bottom side of the map, skipped a couple of his top side camps in order to be here. They lost their vision at this point, and they have not warded their bush.
Yeah, this is really good angle for Winnie. He's waiting. He's trying to decide if this is an actual angle for him. Meanwhile, Parry is doing what good Maokai's do and going for a full clear, but now going for an invade path as Parry has gone the upper hand here, at least in timing window, because Winnie didn't pull the trigger on the bottom side play.
Yeah, Minui and Poom will be able to get that recall off, and Winnie will be losing a couple of his camps up on the top side. Great read from Parry, knowing that for Winnie to be here for any kind of play, he would have to give up multiple camps on the top side. Tenacity even helping him out as well, doing a fantastic job up in the top half of the map. And now he's mid lane.
They're looking for a double pincer maneuver on a Darkwings. He will just dash out of there, though. Nice little timing window from DSG. And this is the kind of stuff we need to see from them. Just activity on the map with this combo.
Yeah, they had a lot of pressure early on in the game, in Game 1 as well. It was a matter of continuing it throughout the course of the rest of it. And while Parry, with the change to the terrain up on the top side, he goes for the Krugs, is not actually able to immediately go for a sensical gank onto Quacker. But now Winnie's on the bottom half of the map, says, okay, I lost a couple of cams. Maybe Doxa can land a hook.
Yeah, Doxa gonna go in here, does get the knock up, the combo, the
nice
deadly
flash.
flourish is there, and yeah, really rough combo there to try to pull off a dive as Wildcard
Nice
get
root.
completely answered to, and now
Yes!
Aaron's gonna bite the dust again. Manui,
Nice heal!
0-1, the heal comes out, and now deadly flourish connects, and the master of it all will be Manui, as Poom maybe left over. Young, give it to Young, somebody take the kill. Okay, Young got it.
That
Almost
got a
died
little
for it, but
scary. Why are we
DSG up
trying to?
3-0.
Why are we trying to
Well,
juggle the
that
kills?
was a giga disaster coming through for Wildcard, and now DSG
Wait,
in a very firm control.
I can't believe
of
they
how this
tried to
game should
dive
be going.
that.
This
That
is
wasn't-
the other side of the coin that we sometimes
That didn't
see
even
from
look like a
Wildcard.
good
They
time
go
to
for
dive.
every fight. Sometimes they are very right. Sometimes that happens, and they end up going for a fight where they are locked underneath the turret. They're going to be losing even more CS. Or I guess Aaron will be able to get most of it right on back, but that is so much money
Also,
going to the
we
side
should have
of
just killed that
DSG
Trundle
they
at the
can
end there, right?
force
We
their way through this
juggled a
really
little
good game.
bit.
But as they go in, they just go underneath the turret, and Doxa missing the hook is rooted for forever, and they just don't have
I mean,
the
it did
damage
seem like
to
a
really
case of
act
wanting
that.
to
And Winnie
give
says,
the
oh,
kill
we
to
gotta
like
go for this
a
fight,
certain
look how
player,
low
maybe.
they are. But Minui already gets a shot off. The flash comes
Yeah,
through. The heal
like
is
this
there,
got a
but
little
it's not
scary.
enough damage,
Like, not
even
gonna
though
lie.
Lethal Tempo. I've been seeing a lot of reels about how the Trundle feasts on his prey. The shields come out on the right targets, and he has nowhere left to go.
Yeah, like
Honestly,
the
a bullet
Trundle's
dive to
Q
start it
reset
off
almost
anyways
came up.
against that composition. When they both had flash available still, you still had the heal. You still had all the tools.
You know,
available. Just
yeah,
thinking that the
probably
bullet
just a
crank does the
LeBlanc
difference,
because
but
of
it
Dark
doesn't.
Seal, right?
It
Wait,
does
he didn't
mean
do that.
now
I
on
mean,
the
like,
back end of that,
it just
we're
seemed a
gonna
little scary.
trade of these objectives. Wildcard will get the first dragon, but all 3 mites go over to DSG and parry.
Yeah, and that should be good for DSG, right? They get the extra pressure in the lanes, and we were already looking at this is going to be a fairly good laning situation for them overall.
Yeah, that dive
And
was
Tenacity,
oof.
in comparison to Game 1, is
Not good.
absolutely in control of the top half of the map. And
Good
Young
heal,
picking up the kill
good flash
makes
by
up for the fact
Minui.
that he roamed relatively early on up against Darkwings, and now should be better able to bully this around. The one place where it might be a little even is actually down here in the bottom lane because of how effectively Aaron and Doxa have been able to CS, whereas Minui struggling to find some of that money, and even with this wave coming in, it is going to get worse in favor of Wildcard.
And when you're in a position like this where the wave has consistently been pushing over to the bottom side as Jhin, it becomes so much more scary because literally one Blitzcrank hook now, especially without the flash, is doom. So you have to be really careful when the waves are pushing up this far. They do push Wildcard off of the wave, do get the push in here for themselves.
They also spot out Winnie on the top half of the map, and so, or excuse me, on the bottom half, and so they do know he is in the area, but yet again, they haven't gone for the Pixel Brush ward in the bottom half of the river, and so instead, Winnie, as he clears out this crowd, the question will be, where does he go next? Looks like he's just going back into his own side of the jungle, not going to be looking for any kinds of plays, which is not necessarily what I was expecting from this player.
He's holding over now, and yeah, a lot less activity than we had in that game number 1, besides this play bottom lane going awry. That ward, or at least the trap, not going to be able to see them. So the engage does come through. Winnie finds parry in the middle of it, but Nature's Grasp has that distance. Doxa locked down, and Doxa just one auto.
Good roam by Parry. Good roam by Parry. Nice, Poom.
He's got him ready. He can go
Now into the Jhin stun, into the flourish.
For the auto. Oh, he doesn't get it. But Young will come in for the auto attack, and we are all of a sudden 6-0 in Disguised favor, 7.5 minutes in.
Yeah,
this is what I'm talking about.
It feels as though they have been gifted an opportunity.
Okay, not gonna lie though, Wildcard is
the Disguise have
no flame, but they're hard trolling. They're like hard trolling. But we had really good like ready like anti-dive setups. Like the Parry Maokai roam there was really good.
Oh my gosh, there's no way, right?
And then the first dive, we had a really good TP coming out as well.
To deal with. But this is what we wanted to see from Disguised. I think when we came into draft, we were seeing so much going the way of Wildcard in their compositional strength, but there was always that caveat. Well, if Disguised are ahead, if they find the lead, and they have found that, and maybe a little bit of gifting by Wildcard side. Thank you to the Jhin lovers. But it is something where the bottom half of the map for DSG is set up for success.
And now they really need to bully their way through it, right? Because eventually, Jhin is going to have a lot of the same problems the later this game actually goes.
This is the DSG I know.
He is going to struggle.
This is the GSG that was inside. This is the two wolves inside you.
Before they do, and that is going to be the difference that DSG will really need to leverage. Unless they somehow show us that they can actually go for a lot of
missed the cannon.
Plays, and they're trying to push it right now.
Oh!
Next, there's the curtain call. Aaron's going to be blocking a ton of shots. Oh, no.
Missing
the chain
shot number
corruption
4.
going
Come
wide
on.
is a little bit rough. Poom looking for the angle here. Does have the speed up and the chain. Aaron has no way out but a flash. Will burn, but it's too late. Oh my God, Aaron.
Let's go, Minui. That's what I'm talking about.
He goes down.
Wow, I mean, that's a lot of arrows, a lot of skill shots that Aaron and Doxa have been missing in this game, and now Winnie paying the price for it. He's going to be losing more of his jungle.
Oh, no.
4,000 gold lead.
This might just be one of those games where you're like, you want to go to game 3? Let's go to game 3.
Yeah, we could skip this one. That's all right. It is looking very good for Disguise so far. Again, they're looking for not just their first series win, but their first game win, and Aaron and Doxa not permitted to go to lane.
Oh, he just ran in there, was super confident, died immediately. I love it.
And this is where the game becomes very untenable. When you cannot even have one of your lanes walk up to start farming.
Maybe
in order to
this
start
is
getting
the
experience
reason
and
why
gold.
we've been losing.
I mean,
We're
Aaron,
such a
he
snowbally
cannot walk
team
effectively
that if we
until he
ever get the
knows that
early
Perry
game
is
locked
not in the
down,
area.
it's just over.
And actually a little bit
4K
surprised
by
that,
10
never mind,
minutes?
Darkwing still has the ultimate. But this is a terrible position right now for the members of Wildcard because they don't have any point of strength across the entire map. Aaron going for lethality relies on being ahead in the laning phase, relies on actually having some damage going up against all of these different members. And now, this guy's going for more of these Void Grubs, are going to get all 6 of them, make sure that they're going to get their Twitch chatters.
I want to give some love out there, especially
To our subs.
It did get the crit build already started, at least for Manui. It will be the Storm Razor completed. We've seen a lot of conversation around the crit versus lethality build for Jhin. But hey, when you're ahead, why not go crit so you can just destroy people? It will be a second dragon for Wildcard though here, and no real response because those grubs went down on the
Dragons?
side. So at least some good timing windows from them.
Yeah, I do like that from Wildcard, and we have seen that Team Liquid Challengers also had a very similar lead going up against Wildcard in their matchup earlier in the season, where they had a pretty dominant lead, and Wildcard were still able to come back anyway. And so we cannot discount the fact that Wildcard, they actually have some tools to be pretty aggressive later on, right? They still have playmaking coming out from Quacker, Darkwings, Aaron, and Doxa.
Is this
Every single one
losable?
of these
If we
players
lose a
has
4K
good
gold
tools
lead
to
at
actually
11
pick
minutes,
someone out if they do need to do so. And so
I'm double
the two
firing
Dragons
people.
already picked up. I mean, it sets them up for an alternative win.
That would
condition
be
to
even
potentially
worse
go
than
for,
just
whereas these
losing.
guys, they, having lost
Losing with the
both of these
4K
dragons
gold
already,
lead at 10
they're
minutes.
the ones who are now pressured to try and come in and make sure that Wildcard can't continue stacking them.
One of our biggest conversations is we've seen a lack of being able to close games out from a lot of our teams. So being able to do that here from a point of power,
And I think
is
that
important
everyone would
for a
agree.
first
Like,
game
it's
win
one thing
for
to
DSG,
lose.
and they're gonna
It's
catch out
another
winning
thing
here,
to
but
lose with
Darkwings is able to
a
put
with a
down some work
5K
on
gold
Perry.
lead
Perry
at the
got
10 minute
phase
mark.
rush boost out of there. Now Young trying to go back in. The Emperor's Divide saves Winnie's life, and Darkwings coming up clutch for his jungler.
Almost killing Perry.
It's possible
as well,
to
getting
get
a lot of
upscale.
damage
I don't
down from
care
both of them because this
what
guys were so
comp,
focused on
what
trying to make sure that the
situation, what
troll
players you
cannot
have
keep his
in an
opportunity to
evenly
keep
skilled
hitting
matched
during
up
these fights.
team.
But so far,
No world
Darkwings,
you
one
ever
of the things
lose a
I've been most
5K
impressed about
gold
this
lead
player
at 12
is how
minutes.
clutch they've been
I'm
so far
sorry.
with Doxa.
I don't care if the
He's
opposing
gonna
team
fall
has
for it
Ornn,
again.
Vayne,
Just
Kog'Maw,
about half his health bar taken.
Vigar, and Nasus.
Not a dead.
As, they won't be able to do
You
anything
don't
about
lose a
that last
5K gold
plate,
lead.
Struggling to hold on down there in bottom lane.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even notice that they already had that many plates
Yep.
go down as well. Yeah, a very tough position to be in
Ooh,
for
that
Wildcard
was,
bottom lane.
a little wild. You get a almost play on the Quacker from Tenacity.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how Wildcard can, like, get in, right? Obviously, you have the Blitzcrank hooks all the time. Darkwings will eventually win this trade, but Jungle Privilege
Perry's
means
just
that
trying to
Perry
get the
does.
wave in.
Yeah. But it definitely feels as though Disguised, I mean, are absolutely in total control. When you're going to try and steal some of these Raptors, but won't find any of them. Oh, no.
The flourish. There's the combo. Look who the strong ones are. And Winnie
Hey.
overextends, and a shot to the head does get Manui a rampage.
Is that 4?
I believe so.
There you go.
5? No, it was 4 because he was 305.
All right, here we go. I mean, that's the
There
special
it
number. He's
is.
done. He's done. No
He's
more
done.
kills. No more kills for Manui this game. I think that's the rule, right? But either way, again, it doesn't feel as though one of the big things I'm going to be watching throughout this entire thing is seeing if Disguise can make any proactive plays. And this is one of the first ones that they're going to get caught.
Again, this is.
What
the
are you flashing for, Poom?
A
What are you
Blitzcrank
flashing
will
for?
always be able to get
Your
it.
flash is
Unfortunately,
going
not gonna be
over
able
a
to
wall,
land it
not
before
across
to
the
help
world.
out Perry at all, but here
Oh
comes
my
the
god!
Emperor's Divide.
That Azir ult!
Corruption land max range, and it's Aaron who claims the kill.
Oh,
and now
no.
Jhin
Oh,
has
no.
fallen
What
for
are
the
we
ultimate
fucking
Jhin bait, going into melee
doing?
range. And just like that, Wildcard carve almost 3,000 gold off of the lead.
every proactive play this entire game has been turned on its head. Wildcard with that hook onto Poom, finding multiple kills, multiple shutdowns right on across. And while the gold lead is still really large here for Disguise, that has to be demoralizing considering what their problem has been so far throughout this split. Their proactive plays have not worked. They've gotten shut down in so many of these different plays. And now, Wildcard is the team who is so good at so many of these
That's fine. We still have a 3.5K
we have to
goal
start
lead.
asking, do we really feel that we're ahead still?
And that's where some of that synergy we were talking about really comes into play because you're just on top of each other's game plans here.
Like, this
and
flash
Poom
is
just
crazy.
Caught lacking a little bit here, Joshi.
Yeah, and then as they try and run away, right, Perry should be able to buy a lot of time as Young comes right on over. But the way that Aaron plays and actually gets the ultimate down onto the Maokai, he's able to get the kill here as well in order to pick that one up. And then from there, it's just another hook coming out from Doxa to make sure that Manui goes down as well. Another kill, a shutdown going over to Aaron. A lot of the issues they were having in the bottom lane, not solved per se, but seriously mitigated.
He has an item completion over Manui now, which is just insane. As he gets the Yumu's Ghost Plate there, I'm sure Manui's sitting on a little bit of gold. I think we can check that here in a minute.
I have that.
I was gonna say I'm leading
Hold
you
on.
to it, Joshi.
Hold on, gotta find it again.
Okay. But anyways,
There it
it
is.
is hilarious to me that we've gotten to this disparity now in bottom lane because Aaron, the Varus itself, actually pretty good in a Jhin. You have the utility to lock him down, but you also have that range damage to put it in. So I'm really, really interested to see how Aaron approaches his next fights. Meanwhile, DSG on the front foot use the Rift Herald bot side and will take their first dragon.
Len, I have bad news. It's not working. My button's
Not
still
working.
quick.
Okay.
Well, that's unlucky. Quacker teleporting out. Hey, Wildcard are now going towards the bottom half of the map to make sure that the split push is contested at least a little bit, but Cassante into LeBlanc is relatively tough to actually get anything done.
Wait, Manui?
Manui?
He has no mana. He has the rest of his team here, though, and Aaron now going to get hit by the Nature's Grasp. Oh, God. Things are going a little wild. Doxa gets a kill over on the side. Manui goes down to Young on a killing spree. Oh, no! Oh,
One more,
goodness.
one more.
Well, Q3. Oh, not going to hit. Wildcard on a comeback with a vengeance here, but Young, Tenacity, and Perry, they're the ones you got to watch out for now as he's going to pop that Ragnarok. It might just be so for Wildcard. They're going straight in on a Quacker, but they have so many dashes.
Ooh.
Nice little move, though. Ragnarok was still available, so Doxa missed timing that one a little bit. And they're looking for a back-end play on this one, and Manui just gets caught out yet again.
Yeah, a very tough position. Very similar, actually, to when Perry got caught out in the mid lane at a pretty similar timing to the first game. It feels as though Wildcard are just doing their plays again. Oh, I didn't press that button, by the way. Someone else did.
Let's go,
My button doesn't work.
production.
Let's go, production. Manui still the most gold in the game, but it doesn't matter if you have the most gold if you are also the one dying first in all of
Also a
these.
Jhin. Like, it's
You're
good,
also a
but
Jhin.
as time goes on, it's not going to look that great. And I'm really interested. I mean, the rapid fire is complete, so you have a lot more range of engage now as well from the Jhin.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see that, but we're starting to see why I literally pulled my statue down from the wall. And it's because Jhin, against this composition, as time goes on, you just don't get to play the game.
And this is part of why Disguise moving as a group. They will try and find Darkwings. Now they're looking for Doxa as well, but will not be able to lock them down at all. The gold lead has ultimately held steady at about just under 4,000 for the past several minutes, which is, again, wildcard comfort zone. They're so good at bringing things back from the brink, from what looks like a doomed situation. But the one big hope that I really have for this game, we touched on it before, Young on this LeBlanc. He's really good at LeBlanc and Akali and Silas as the champions. I always think of this player as piloting, but he needs to have an opportunity to go for some of these split pushers and actually feel strong doing so. That was bold.
He's going to get engaged on immediately. But yeah, Young, a very interesting prospect for us because this guy that we've had our eyes on for a long while, right? And he had the time on Golden Guardians going to LCS. And talking about that time, it was a little bit wild for him. He wasn't able to take full advantage of it, but learned a lot of the way that games are played and the way that structure is done in the LCS. I think it made him learn a lot. As maybe that learning gonna need to come here as Doxa goes for the twofer as now Poom is out of there. You do have the deadly flares coming in as well, the curtain call, and that shot's gonna ring true. One more, and Dark Wings, he's not gonna eat it. It's gonna be Doxa that gets it.
There you go. But yet again, another proactive play, this time by Wildcard, turned on its head as they are the ones who are able to take down Winnie. He is not yet tanky, going for the, what's it called, Sundered Sky?
Sundered Sky, baby.
Yeah, that's the one. Still learning all the names of the new items, but the one that gives you the extra damage does not necessarily make you that much tankier. We do cross the 20-minute mark here in just a second. Whoa. The one with hands.
Ugh. Baron
I
should
always
not have
find-
hands.
I like it.
I always find this one a little bit uncomfortable because the hands are like in that uncanny valley for me.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
They're really
Either way.
terrifying. When they scoop you in, it's terrifying.
Yeah, it is. Either way, though, Disguise, once again, they have been in control of this quadrant of the jungle for both of the games. As Winnie's going to come in and...
Oh, he just... Winnie!
Winnie.
He gets it! He got the blue buff, but he just gives his life for it. All right, well, the all-out comes through from Quacker. He's trying to get parry, but Winnie, I don't know if that blue buff was worth it, as he does bite the dust.
That was very funny, not going to lie.
He saw it getting
What
dazed.
a
I'm
chat.
going.
Oh,
Nine
this is
for blue buff for
mine!
the whole
Oh, wait a second. And it's like, it makes me think of Potter Papa Pals, actually. It's like, oh, I found the source of the ticking. It was a bomb. And you're like, oh no, this is not
How
not
could
what
this
I
happen?
wanted.
Oh, no.
Either way.
Yeah, I don't, you know, sometimes it goes down that way, and you really want the blue buff for your team. It's the new bait, you know, that you give it to your whole team, so it makes it even that much more worth.
True. And yeah, only one person on Disguise actually got the blue
It's
buff
like a
then,
Baron
so
buff.
like, ultimately way better coming across the side for Wildcard. Imagine how much better Wild Darkwings on the side lane will be when he has this blue buff now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Look at that. Yeah.
Copium.
I like that. Hopium, copium, hopium, copium. We do have about 10 seconds for another dragon. Would be a sole point for Wildcard, but it seems like the positioning right now from DSG is just going to secure that one for themselves.
Yeah, they also have the opportunity to create a lot of traps between the Maokai and the Jin. Very difficult for Wildcard to actually walk in. But hey, what is Wildcard special? It's Sneaking Barons. They have the Bars, who's not as much because, you know, lethality, but they do have the Azir. It's actually something they can do relatively quickly. It's part of why Disguise pulled multiple members off the Dragon immediately to try and make sure that Wildcard
Help
does not
him,
win
help
the
him,
special.
help him.
Uh-oh. Quacka.
Tenacity gets caught out doing the dragon. Meanwhile, there was a play being folded out on top side of the map from Wildcard, really just waiting in the bushes to get Doxa a hook onto somebody, but the dragon does end up going over. Looks like a tier 2 will be traded here, though. Parry's
will.
on a deep flank, though. He does get spotted out.
Very deep flank. Tenacity does not have a teleport to join, whereas Quacker does. It would be a 3v4 or 4v4 at best for Disguised. But, I mean, just look at this. Wildcard, they're the guys who
Because
call
this
it
is
the
their way
3M.
in.
They're here to party.
They are indeed.
Oh,
they don't have the
Young.
Broloff, though. Young knows
smart.
that there's some finickiness going
Uh-oh.
on.
Oh, he
W'd.
Everybody's missing. Uh-oh, this means the go button. Everybody, Young's like,
Get
I don't
him!
know what to do. Where do I go? And he goes down, shut down to Aaron, and that's actually huge.
That's
W to
so, I
wave
love
clear.
how Young was so focused.
Also, we
on
should not be
not
flashing, man. We should not be
getting
flashing.
hooked from that bush, and then he uses W. And it's like,
We waste
okay,
way
guys,
too much
like,
flash on like.
you were so confident someone was in
guaranteed
there. You're
death.
playing around it, and then Perry gets hooked.
Ooh, Perry, and he does not have the health bar to survive that.
Why
Nature's
are
Grasp
we
goes
flashing
backwards,
so to
and Devastator
death?
picks up the kill. Easy does it. Manui and Poom, they are the saving grace right now. Tenacity's getting pulled from the mid lane. They have to get this poke down. They have to utilize this lead that they've gotten
Do
bot
not get
lead.
grabbed by the
But we've
quicksand for
talked
the
about
love
the
of
ticking
Christ.
time bomb that is this wild card comp, and it just seems like it's unsurmountable as they're going to get tossed in. 2,000 health on the Baron. It's going down. Winnie's going to grab that one, and now it's Manui as the moment to shine. Young is here trying to chase him down too. How many Baron buffs can
we
they
make
get
a
out
decision?
of this one?
Boom got
Oh, the
grabbed.
hook on the Boom! And it shuts him down. Doxa has come up clutch post 15 minutes.
No way, he gets out too. Everyone's like, nah, we gotta go for the other side of the fight. They get out, they get a kill. Wildcard are in the lead.
Not like this. Not like this.
It's the Wildcard comfort zone, baby. You're not gonna take them down. You thought you had the lead. No, we are going to go for the Baron. We're gonna go hunt Young. We're gonna get everything we
lead-
came for.
It's gone. It's literally 0. We are at a point blank deficit between these two teams. There was almost a 5,000 gold lead. Sub 20 minutes for DSG. It hurts. It is still DSG looking for their first game
Oh,
win of
no.
the season. And that gold graph is one to say ouchies to.
This is okay.
Another hook, another play. They actually find the good curtain call here. Dox is getting low. DSG, they're making a move. They get Tenacity, 1 kill. Now they're chasing down Aaron. Aaron's completely caught.
There we
Rock in a
go.
hard place.
Okay,
A double kill for
okay.
Tenacity. Darkwings now.
Let's go,
He's gonna turn him
Tenacity.
into triple kill.
That's you.
Let's give him a
That's you,
quadra
big
kill
him.
as he
We
does
were
get
waiting for
it.
you.
Quadra goes down the way of DSG.
I was wondering when you'd show up. That's the guy I was
As hard
told.
as it potentially could be, and Quacker, the only person still
That's
alive on
him.
the other side of the map. Oh,
He showed
okay,
up.
This is one of the problems that we're seeing from Disguise. They could have gotten an inhibitor here, and they didn't. They're not taking as much as they're supposed to be taking when they're winning these fights. Yes, they have a gold lead again, but Wildcard should have their base open right now after this disaster of a fight. They try and take it when they still have a bunch of ultimates down. They don't have tools. You don't even have the subjugation coming out from Winnie. And so Aaron and Darkwings, they just get flashed on, and they have nowhere left to go. They cannot create the space to make sure that Tenacity is not going to run rampant in this fight. And suddenly, as like Winnie finally throws down the ultimate at the very end, it's way too late from this position. They are absolutely routed, but they don't lose a whole lot. They were already playing with this gold deficit, and they were able to play it right on back. It's the structures that are still standing that showcases that.
Here
oh,
he goes.
No.
DSG are in it. They are coming for it. Tenacity pops Ragnarok. Tenacity is 5-0, and he is the monster in the night right now. He's trying to take down Winnie. One axe doesn't do it. Poom trying to take him out too. Young ends up getting the kill, and now Wildcard on the back foot. Deadly Flourish will not connect, but Manui is charging at him. Darkwings takes a shot to the back, and Poom gets them. And DSG are starting to avalanche this one forward.
Okay, curtain call comes through. It just needs like, probably 2 onto Quacker. Oh. Gets the 1, but not the second one. Disguised. No! We taking structures. What?
Yeah, why are we backing after
They're
every
routed.
winning fight?
They need to get like the bot lane turret or something. This is a big part of why Disguise. Okay, they can go play
They
for
got
the
the
dragon.
2-2.
To reset for Dragon?
They don't. Oh my gosh, this is huge. Even though Wildcard, they are back to a position where they have the same kind of gold deficit that they had before. There's not gold going over to DSG, and okay, well, they will get this turret, but there's no local gold. That's most of the benefit that you get for taking this turret is the 600 gold that you get for taking it locally. Wildcard now get another chance to come try and play for this dragon. They don't have their ultimates. That's going to be one of the big things here. So Wildcard should give over this Cloud Dragon, but they were going to give it over the Cloud Dragon anyway.
Yeah, you do get that third soul point for DSG itself. They were positioned and try to catch somebody out who wanted to come this way. I think it was a good reserved call from Wildcard, realizing if we get a little bit more time, our composition gets even scarier. The problem I will say now, though, is if Tenacity pops Ragnarok and runs at Aaron, what do you do? Like, they're literally, he could just run through your entire team. The only thing that can truly stop him is the Trundle Pillar, because it literally
Olaf
is
with
just a
Cloud
wall.
Soul sounds
But
dangerous.
I don't know if that's going to be the difference maker if Tenacity comes knocking on the door.
There's also the wall from Darkwings, right? But you do have to be very careful. If you get the initial push will not push back the Olaf, but the actual wall will prevent him from running through. And so we saw some things coming out from Disguise. They are moving towards the top side of the map, but moving into just like these lighting up and siege situations are absolutely favoring Wildcard in the long term. They will lose the structure for sure, but it's going to take them a while. And Manui off in the mid lane, yes, he will get this wave pushing, but suddenly it means that Wildcard will be getting the time to continue scaling. And so I'm really starting to worry for Disguise. They need to try and find a play relatively soon. They finally bring Manui, and this ultimate.
They got Manui up here. The Deadly Flare is going to connect their curtain call. They are all in onto Darkwings, and beautifully done. They pick him out.
Nice. That is huge. They take down the one person who's going to really deal with Nasty during a lot of this fighting.
That's just a good ult combo, right? Maokai ult into Jhin ult.
They lost a lot of their health bars to do that. And you're seeing the damage that Manui actually does to Quacker and Winnie from this position. And now we're going to have another couple of minutes. No, we're only going to have 30 seconds before this Baron starts. No, Winnie!
Oh, Winnie. Winnie just goes right in. We've seen him do it multiple times in this game alone, and he will just get taken out. Quacker, he's a little bit less less likely to go down easy, but he does go down just as easy in the end as Tenacity goes godlike 7-0-3 from a guy that we were asking to step up. We were asking, where is this Chad top laner? And he's doing it on Olaf against the one that does it on Olaf, a Quacker.
Yeah, and they're taking all the plays right out of the wildcard book, waiting in bushes in crazy spots. Uh-oh,
Either
Young.
turn and fight or don't turn and fight.
Flashes.
Flash out of that piercing arrow. It does mean, though, DSG don't really have their buffer here, but Tenacity just says, let's run at him, guys. Deadly Flourish connects, and he's right on to Doxa. Easy pickup from Manui, as now it's Darkwings trying to get
That's
the return,
what I'm
but there's no
talking
saving grace
about.
any longer. Aaron,
That's
you
the
gotta join your
decision making
slew
we've
buddies
been
down in the
missing.
gray screen as he's gone.
Make a
DSG,
decision
you're
and
turning
commit
right the
to
Baron.
it.
And finally, this is really big. There's a couple of picks. The first one to Darkwing, the second one onto Winnie. Trading into this Baron suddenly means that DSG, they finally have a gold lead that I am comfortable saying, yes, they should win the game from this position. They're even trying to hunt Winnie, make sure he gets nowhere near the Baron. Can they even kill him?
Winnie does have a lot of sustain back at it if he can get some auto attacks off, and I think Poom and Young are realizing that now. They're going to try to back away. They don't want to lose.
Got him.
Okay. Young does a lot of damage with that Shadow Flame, as now we do see the Rally Cry Baron buff going over to DSG, a back coming out, a reset, and a signal of the end, I would say.
Potentially. 30 minutes into this game, finally getting close to the 10,000 gold lead mark that we tend to look at. It is a huge opportunity for DSG. Remember, they are 0-5 in terms of games. This one, they almost threw as well. And now they are standing tall, disguised, ready to go for one more play to actually try and end the game. And it's going to be so focused on how they can actually punch through this front line. Can they get to Darkwings? Can they get to Aaron? The people who can actually do some damage to the front line of DSG.
I think Nara's going to be taking a screenshot of that gold graph and showing it to his players.
It's like, guys.
Guys, this is a mountain and a half. But we do see actually a really good warding system placed up by DSG on the top side of the map. We do have Dragon in a minute, so some of that needs to transition down towards the bottom side so they can get the soul or just try to go for some permanent pushing power in the end hit.
Yeah, I mean, as long as they are creating pressure, Wildcard is not the kind of team who is going to send one person to actually try and deal with the Dragon. They are going to try and fight the 5v4. So DSG should feel rather comfortable if they really want to send something good to the Dragon, while the rest of them are actually creating pressure on this side of the map. They can also just line up. The one thing they need to be careful of, Doxa. He's been hooking out some of the more tanky members, which has been hurting them. They've gone for parry into Nasty a couple of times. If he's able to land something onto Manui, it is going to be game-changing. Here comes
Nature's Grass coming across, going to force everybody off the turret. Manui's doing some work to that turret too. Deadly Flourish doesn't connect, but this is signals DSG moving forward now. As a look at Tenacity, my God! Does take about half his health off though. Manui.
Oh my God!
At least the max damage. Deadly Flourish not. Oh, it was so
that
close.
damage on the
Mr.
Azir was
Manui just
crazy.
a little bit wide there. Does have to end up flashing in the end because of the rocket crab that was coming out, and that's the bane of the existence for the Jhin. But it feels like DSG now playing a little bit with their food. Need to reposition down here because Wildcard overextended themselves. And now
they try to intercept us to Dragon.
The Chains of Corruption actually comes through. The TP now on the back from Quacker. He's just getting melted by Tenacity though, and he's got to Poom with the back shot. And now actually going forward is the rest of DSG. And that should be the Twitch chatters doing the most of it here and taking down an in-hip turret.
Oh my God, Tenacity is just fucking holding W.
As he's done all game long.
And they finally, hey, Manu did the damage to Winnie! They did it! That was a perfect example of how you can punish some of these wildcard plays.
Let's go.
You know they're going to be committing very hard, but they're going to be cutting a lot of corners on their way. They punished the members of wildcard.
You guys were down and out about DSG, but I believed. I stayed positive the whole time.
Win of the spring split.
That's what I'm
in
talking
2024. They take down wildcard after a
This is why you never give up on your players.
They got their first dub.
This is why you believe in them from the beginning. Like I did.
Toast can be happy. Oh my goodness. It was a roundabout way to get there. There was a moment that we
It's all
thought
because
maybe
I
things
stayed
were turning
positive
back
and they
around.
can feel
But,
my vibes.
It was Disguised who hammered it home in a very triumphant fashion. And they bring us to a 1-1 scoreline of the best of 3. Now let's see if they can bring it back with a little
fucking go.
mini reverse sweep. We'll be right back after a short little break.
Thank you for the sub, Northern Penguin and the little guy. Okay, well, we still
They
need to
said
win the
it couldn't be
series.
done. They said the world would never accept a cookie this long. Or a churro, and probably not a pretzel either. They also said, under no circumstances should those really long and delicious treats be wildly affordable. To which we said, but we already made them. And they are. Introducing the incredible new foot-long sidekicks. Get one at Subway today.
Welcome to the 2024 spring split of the LCS Challengers League. This spring will feature 10 teams competing in a single round-robin best-of-3 format, and for the first time ever, we'll be implementing Fearless Drafts. If you're not familiar, Fearless Draft adds a new twist to pick and ban. Once a champion is picked by a team in the series, it cannot be picked by them again. So if Team A drafts Teemo in Game 1, they cannot play Teemo for the rest of the series. Team B could pick Teemo in Game 2, but then wouldn't be able to play him in Game 3. And like LCS, all games will be played on the live patch, so you can take what you see from the games and try them out on your own. The top 8 teams from our regular season advance to the NACL playoffs, which will feature a double elimination bracket with a mix of best-of-3 and best-of-5 matches. Alongside the NACL are 2 qualifier tournaments, which will also feature Fearless Drafts on the live patch. The bottom 2 teams from the NACL regular season will compete against the top 4 teams from the qualifiers in a promotion tournament, battling in a double elimination bracket to qualify into the NACL in summer 2024. All LCS Challengers League games and coverage will be available on twitch.tv/LCS_challengers, with matches starting right after the LCS. And as a reminder, with team revenue shares, every sub in Twitch Prime directly supports the teams and players. Another split of Challengers League begins right now, and we can't wait to see you there.
Yo, if you guys want to support DSG, don't sub to the LCS Challengers channel, just sub to mine. I'm pretty sure I get 1 cent per sub on that channel. Okay, guys, the secret to winning is just staying positive. All we gotta do is stay positive. Drowsen, thank you for the sub. Ginger Warrior, thank you for the sub. All we gotta do is think about the positives. Alright, we got a couple minutes to kill. Let's do time guesser. Okay, let's zoom in here. Kvarner Express Excursion FKKM Lost. What language is this? Kvarner Terra. Is this English? Kvarner, Friss. They use the alphabet, but it does not seem like English. And the way they Versar, Poviudge. What is this, Latvian? I'm getting mad Latvia vibes. Mad Latvia vibes. And this picture looks old as hell. He's got a nice drip though. 1970. (1980) in Croatia. Ooh, that's embarrassing. Croatia. Wow, this is a high def camera. There's a Ukrainian flag. High def camera, Ukrainian flag. That's the Ukrainian flag, right? Please don't cancel me. I assume this is like a battle. Between Ukraine and Russia. But where? Oh, this is the capital of Ukraine, right? I don't think there will be battles there quite yet. (2023) Wait, this was 10 years ago? That was Kiev. Oh, this isn't the recent stuff. Nelson Mandela. And he's from South Africa. Oh God, I'm gonna. Chat. I want to first say I'm uneducated. I'm ignorant. Okay, I am an ignorant person. I admit it. I don't claim to be anything but an ignorant person. Is he South American or South African? Is South Africa even a place, or is it just Africa? I'm just gonna point it here. Once again, I want to phone. Oh wait, oh South Africa. Wait, South Africa is a thing. And this picture, you know what? I'm gonna say 1974. Boom. Oh, 1994. This picture is so black and white. Olympics in Spruce, 1964. 1984, 1964. Is that a 6 or an 8? Maybe it's an 8. They looked way too modern to be. It looks like a 6 though. This is the fashion in the 60s. 1964 in Spruce. In Spruce? Who's Bruce? Innsbruce. Innsbruce? Innsbruce? Innsbruce. Sounds European. Like Finland? Innsbruce. St. Petersburg? Innsbruce. Is that Russia? Estonia. No, they won't have the Olympics in Estonia. What are you talking about, Toast? Norway. That sounds like a Norwegian place. Bruce. 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 Bruce? Netherlands. Bruce. Ireland. Ireland has people named Bruce, right? Bruce. In Bruce. It's in Bruce. I want to once again point out the fact that I am uneducated. Yeah, no. They look British as hell. They're for sure. Is it French? Is it French? Innsbruck. $1964. 1963? Bitch, why did it say 1964? Innsbruck.
We've already seen him play the Azir. We saw him play the LeBlanc. With the Akali and the Orianna gone, trying to think of like what other like Silas is another champion I think of as a young
Maersk.
champion, but
It's by a
really
river.
actually like go for it in this
Maersk.
game, or this series
There we
deciding
go.
game.
We get the
Maersk?
Aaron Kalista locked.
Is this American?
in. I love it. We get the aggressive bot lane. We'll have to look at
Maersk?
what that 2v2 has to offer us
Maersk.
here moving forward. Do you think, though, the way that things are going to go is that focus around jungle a little bit more early on? I think that's been a trendsetter so far in the series. As a whole.
Whoa!
We get the Corki locked in blind here since the Azir not available for the side
Spain.
of DSG.
I mean, this is already a composition that is very
Corki?
clearly designed to target the Kallistan. So we saw what happened when they tried to target the Jhin from the side of Wildcard. They actually did like an okay job, other than the fact that they had like 2 disastrous plays that made Jhin very fed. But this is a position where suddenly it's very difficult to play the Kalista. Now, one of my discussions that I've had with one of your roommates is that Corki is an assassin, right? He's a pokey assassin, and he's not like the best champion in terms of like actually trying to make sure that you're going to DPS down the front line. Instead, you want to be building just straight AD. Like, you can build Malignance if you want to play pokey Corki, but if you're actually trying to win games, you should be building just flat AD, because you got like a 0.5 AD ratio on everything, and also you have a slow on your W, so whenever you jump in, Aaron 1 can't leave, and 2 is going to take 2,000 damage to the face.
True. I'd be curious to see if he's cooking up anything spicy like that. We do get the Aphelios, though, locked in for Manui, something he's already played this split, but also a very high comfort champion for him. The double mark speed composition I always find interesting because it's a little bit of high risk, high reward gameplay, but I think winning on the Maokai is going to be able to set that duo up for success a lot more. I think Darkwings on the Tristana can be lethal.
Yeah, and we know that this Tristana is really good into the Corki in the laning phase, because Corki just like doesn't do that much damage early on in the game, whereas Tristana does a lot of the damage early on. That's part of why we're seeing more bans towards what Tenacity can play up in the top side of the map, trying to limit some of the blind picks that would be difficult for them to deal with. Now, the one thing I'm really hoping to see a ban is an
I'm
Aatrox,
working on
just
my
because
workout
it's just
plan.
really tough for
So
marksmen
we have
to take
Sunday,
down, especially
Monday,
with the amount of time it's going to take
Tuesday,
Tristana and Kalista to
Wednesday,
DPS through it, and we do
Thursday,
see that ban come through.
Friday,
Suddenly, there aren't
Saturday.
nearly as many hyper tanks available
So,
other than the Udyr, and you can deal with an Udyr.
Sunday
The biggest boon for me
is
out of,
rest day.
Fearless Draft is that when we get to game 3s, which haven't happened super
You gotta get
often,
your rest in.
True.
it means most of the time the picks that we see
Wednesday
every
is rest
single
day.
game.
I have 2 rest days.
And
True.
that means no Cassandra.
Monday
Aha!
is
We've made
back.
it to the mountaintop. Does mean that we'll have the
Ooh!
Aurelia locked in for Tenacity, an old
And
favorite
Bicep.
and one that
An
he
old
used
favorite.
to trounce Academy with.
Yeah, this
Tuesday
is a very interesting pick. They did hover the
is-
Jax really quick. And maybe that's trying to tell Quacker, hey, you should try pulling this one against it. And
ooh,
so
that's
this
Tuesday.
is a
Chess.
huge opportunity here for Quack to showcase that he is ready to go. He has to be prepared, because this is one of the things I do love about the Fearless Draft, right? Is you are going to get a couple more of these pocket picks coming through, because you're going to be forced to try and dig deep. And I mean,
Rock
okay, yeah, you know, it's not exciting, but it is a good pick here in
And
the
then
spot.
we
You're going to be able to deal with it.
wanna do
Umbrella,
back
you have
and
some tools to jump
shoulder
onto Manui
again.
as well.
Right,
The
not back
only other
and
thing that I'm
shoulder.
curious to
Chest and
see is
tricep.
if they're going to be bringing out another source of damage
Chest
coming
and
through,
tricep
because there's
on this
a
day.
good defensive
Back
buff
and bicep
on
on
Perry,
this
there's going to be a good
day.
defensive buff on Tenacity as well, and now
Okay,
they're
we
looking
can
for
do
an
back
opportunity
and
to just
bicep again on
supplement
this
it. And
day.
Ooh,
Ooh.
Winnie Classic.
ooh,
What's the leg?
So
Oh,
it's
I
the
don't do
like
leg.
this.
Kalista Maokai bot lane.
yeah. I like this a lot, actually, coming through, because as Lilia, the one thing that Lilia tends to hate is, like, point-and-click crowd control and powerful
Who's
audio
gonna see my legs, man? I'm gonna be
and
wearing
early
jeans
on
all
in
the time
game,
anyway.
Lilia will be
I don't wanna
doing
buy new
damage
pants.
well before Manui is truly online. And so the only thing that she is really worried about in terms of crowd control that's going to be coming out is actually going to be Manui's
I think
grab
back and
kick.
bi-
You know when he has
I think
that, and
back
you
and
know when he
bicep should
doesn't
be
have
on a
access to it. So I think it's a really cool draft coming out from the side of Wildcard, but it is going to rely a lot on them actually making sure
And this
that they
day can
win
be
some of these big game
tricep
skirmishes, because this is the first time I look at a draft and say,
and
oh, you do
shoulder.
not want to take this one late.
And
You
then
do
on
not want to
Saturday,
take against
we
Link
can
and
do
Irelia,
chest
Philios, and Corki. It is going to be doomed. So Wildcard, they need to make some of these
and
early dives work.
tricep.
They need to make some of these plays around the early dragons go off properly.
So
and then
this way
Wildcard
you hit
can
every,
shut down DSG, or maybe DSG will be
you
able to
hit
finally find
every
their first series win.
muscle
Maybe, I
twice
think
a week.
The fact that we go right back to two very aggressive early skirmishing junglers, I think you could still have that great pathing for Lilia and have a lot of poke and prod available to you. That has been at least the trend
Again,
setter for
chat,
me in this series.
you don't have to
and I think
do
that's gonna
legs
be a
if you just wear
key
sweatpants.
component to seeing how fast this game goes, especially. But that's where, for the side of DSG, you talk about that late game strength. It still relies on Perry being very proactive on this Poppy and making sure his lanes
People
don't
who
get too
talk
far
about
behind.
legs days are
One
just
thing that is
people
really
who
nice
don't
about
even
Perry
do
in this
upper
matchup
body
as well
and they
is the
want to
fact that
make
Winnie
someone
does
feel bad.
actually have a
Lol, you don't work on legs. Well, bitch, you work on nothing.
as well. You see him spin up, he otherwise stops, he goes for the little W, and Perry just throws up his own
Nice
W
one, thank
in
you
order
for the
to
sub.
stop that, get a little bit of damage, and ground Winnie, send him back to his room. But Winnie is definitely in a spot where he can
Roaming
dance
Panda,
around a
Lixie,
lot
Ginger
of members
Warrior,
of
Drowsing,
Disguise
thank you for
throughout
the
the
sub.
course of this game. And it'll be very telling what kind of build he chooses to go for, because he has.
When am I supposed to do
the
legs
ability
day,
to
man? By the
play
time I go
like
through
a
two
tanky
muscle
really,
groups, I'm already tired as
really
hell.
sustain tank through the course of this game, or he can be a very high damage player as well, because he's basically the solo magic damage of this team.
He's gonna have to be something there.
I mean, I
He's
guess
gonna have
I
to be
could.
something.
Yeah, he's
You
gonna
have to
be
build some
something.
items.
I love Winnie's story though. Obviously, he's found
Nah.
a decent amount of success with AOE here last year. but
Sorry, there's
especially,
no room for legs.
Rather, but especially more so with Slew. It's been really cool to see because when I went to HughFest and Slew ended up getting that second place, it was curious to me to see how vocal this team was as a whole. And right, there's only 4 of those members here for Wildcard, but the 5th one wasn't the same 5th one that is
Tristana
now.
and
So
Corki
we
mid?
know that this core of Wildcard
This
is
game has
extremely vocal
4
and extremely
ADCs. What the
headstrong.
hell?
And that's where some of this synergy, where they've already been playing together, and so
Because
that
if
headstrong
you
nature is built
get
into all of them. has
stronger
really
leg
come
muscles, you can
more
get
fruit.
more testosterone. Oh, I'm already doing TRT anyway.
You see that come through for a while.
My body's not
They
making
are
testosterone
currently towards
anymore.
The top of the standings in a place that a lot of people were not expecting. That a lot of people were looking at this like, oh, you know, yes, they're a good collegiate team, but Challengers League is a different beast entirely.
What's
So
TRT?
they will need to continue
Testosterone
finding a lot of
replacement
success
therapy.
If they take down Disguised, now, funnily enough, it would mean that they are up against 3 of the bottom teams in the
Some
league
people
to
call it
find this win,
steroids.
but it's
I
also
call
a
it
major play for
muscle
them to just
juice.
say, yes, we need to be taken seriously up against the teams that everybody thought was going to be good.
And that was our biggest conversation coming in here. It's just the difference of expectations that we had coming into.
I'm just
the
kidding, chat.
both
I'm
teams
not
and
on
how that's
testosterone
panned out
replacement
coming at
therapy.
the bottom of week number 3 as well. And I think that's where you can highlight Wildcard. They've gotten 2 2-0s, 1 in week 1, 1 in week 2. Now looking for a 2-1 at least in week 3. But it has been a little bit of consistency there. And Winnie,
Don't worry, I'm all natty.
Have that chicken over.
Crystal
Perry.
XL, thank you for the 46
Tenaci's
months.
in this bush. Okay, spots it out. Winnie not going to make the same mistake that ended up losing them the last game, walking into a brush. Does keep tabs on Tenaci as well, but he's going to be taking a look at the very least, seeing what is going on. And wow, this is a
If my
very
balls
aggressive
start
pass from Winnie.
shrinking,
He's
then
been
you'll know I'm
loving
on
going for
steroids.
aggressive plays, but he does not have the smite to try and take away Perry's red buff.
He will be out of vision here, though. Ends up getting the better of Perry. Does have a nice
Oh.
flat back with the buckler. Yeah, Winnie ends up getting traded on heavily here. He's going to have Darkwings over the wall. Darkwings trying to get the satchel charge, or at least the explosive charges here. And it's Winnie who's in deep with his first blood to
How did-
Darkwings. And now Cracker is...
What are you doing?
Tenaci's trying to look for Winnie, but Winnie is playing the mind
Oh,
games.
the
Young is
slow.
over here now. And what did we expect in this one here as fighting continues?
Okay, I'm gonna say
Tenacity-
there's no actual way Tenacity is not win trading. I'm sorry. I don't understand. I don't understand. This at no point was there an opportunity to outplay anyone, right? I'm not a regular player, but was there a wall? Well, I mean, a world where it's like, oh, here's the I feel like there's no opportunity to outplay. You're just auto attacking.
Where Darkwings is chilling, and as he flashes over the wall, they flash at the same time. Parry a little bit slow
Good
to
flash.
actually hit the blast cone, means that Winnie catches up, and as he called out, Quacker is here. Like, they just have an extra
Like, why
member.
not?
They
Okay,
just
at
have
this
the
point,
tools
you
to
can
stay
probably
alive,
you're
and
auto
damage
attacking
is not
a
real
Tristana with
before
600
level 6,
health.
so you just get
You
a
blind
moderate free kill.
stun
And I'm not
into a
gonna lie,
bush.
Parry lives there if Winnie doesn't flash on the other side of that blast cone. Like, it's 100% a parry success rate.
You
there.
know there's a
I feel like Malphite
on your left.
So it's little things like that that really have been the difference maker in this series,
That's
and
alright.
we've seen them.
Remember, stay
punching
positive,
at
guys.
each
Don't
other
freak
from
out.
Start to finish, all 3 games.
And Wildcard, we saw that they almost brought back like a 5,000 gold lead that this guy's had last game. When Wildcard have leads, they tend to be better at making sure that they win with them, right? Because they're always going for these fights. When you have more money, it just makes the fights that much easier. So one place that I'm kind of looking at for Wildcard to potentially, for Disguise to actually really come back from this position is Tenacity, because he's actually been farming quite well. He's still on a character that will have a lot of ability to play into Aaron and Darkwings and Winnie later on in the game. And he's going to get the gold that he needs basically no matter what. This is one of the things that's awesome about Irelia. You basically always have perfect farm.
And that's going to need to be an unlocking factor, it feels like, for DSG. It's just so cool to see Tenacity picking it up once again. This is something that he made his name on back at Academy. This is something that everybody started lauding. He's like, this guy is literally just bodying people in lane, and it's so impressive. So glad to see him feeling back to form at least.
Parry versus
and,
Quacker.
yeah, it is something. Now Parry actually gets boosted off of the grubbies. Does end up getting the 1. So it is worth it in the end, and the movement from Wildcard will mean they can get no more.
Yeah, I mean, Quacker does stop the full trade going over, and he doesn't lose.
Oh, let's not forget Tenacity kind of went crazy last game with the Olaf. But when you get to the late game first.
Unless Tenacity has something to say about it. No, he was thinking about it. He was chilling out in the tri-brush for a little while.
The one time we've been in the late game, Tenacity was great. Problem is, he hard ends a lot of early games that we don't get to the late game.
I really like the variability
So if we can just get into the late game, I think we might be okay.
It has been a journey back to form, it feels like, for this guy.
Yeah, and one of the big things that we were looking at from Darkwings previously is, especially when he was playing back for like Dignitas, like way back in the day, like he was a very clutch player, but he couldn't lane. And that is something that we are still looking at to continue seeing his growth, is he remains a very clutch player. And his laning has improved since we saw him in Academy all those years ago. And this is a spot where he needs to be able to take down a lot of these different players. He's going up against Young now, and he's got a decent lead, very much benefiting from the fact that he got 2 kills previously. But also, now he can just bully around this Corki. And while they do have an opportunity to blow through this game, it's not necessarily going to be on Darkwings. He will still have that trough where he is not the most relevant character in the world. And so he's going to have to try and do everything he can to bully his way through this mid lane, find as much of a lead as possible before Young can take over the game.
I think that's something I've always lauded him, is his self-realization of where he's at in the game state.
Oh, good.
Self-realization means
whatever.
Doxa gets the Fates call out. Aaron saving his good buddy there. Did have some pressure from Parry on the bottom side, though. Winnie taking full advantage of that.
And now Winnie also, yeah, like you were saying,
Christ,
just
Tristana
going
pushed
into this
so
jungle,
hard.
He's going to be kind of turning things around. We saw that Parry was really shutting Winnie out last game, but that's partly because Winnie loves going for all these different kinds of invades. This time, he's going to be the one who's going to be on location. First, we might see a repeat of the first and second blood.
2 plates going the way of Benui. I love the movement next to the tower because the Chakram's auto attack will go fast as it goes through, and being able to get those 2 plates early. Now Winnie fully on vision here. Parry.
All right, Tenacity.
The dub here.
You know, he flashed. That's not on you. That's not on you.
Doesn't get that red buff in the end, and it'll be Winnie making away like a bandit.
Yeah, I mean, that's a flash and ultimate out coming out from Tenacity, which means Quacker should be much more free to just play up in this top side of the map, but he will be backing away. And Wildcard, I mean, we got to see Winnie punished very heavily in game 2.
Red,
for some of
white
his plays, but
guns.
in
Okay,
game
they can't
3,
dive
he's
him.
making away like a bandit, like you said, in order to find all these opportunities to push his lead even further ahead. And this can be another.
How is
play
this
for
allowed?
Wildcard
How is this Tristana allowed to just auto attack a
I
tower?
love the nature of these games so far. I feel like for these two teams, we've just been getting leads in different places. It feels like 3 plates in mid lane now for Darkwings. You have those 2 for Manui in bottom side. And I think it's rightfully so because Darkwings a key component, Aaron key component for Wildcard, while Young and Manui have been a new carry duo added together that feels like it still needs some time to come online.
Yeah. Oh, X-Flash. Okay, not going to be going forward. The one thing that I do want to go back to the fact that Tenacity on this Irelia is a huge threat. He does have a lead, and this is one of the things that we look at where if you aren't used to playing against Irelia, because she's not the most popular thing in solo queue or in champs queue or in like pro play right now, it is very clear to me that Quacker is kind of like making this one up as he goes, just because, yes, he's played it in the past, but he hasn't played it recently. And so this is one of those moments where we have to see how effective he is with the ults, how effective he is at standing in the right places. And with the package already being shown, we have another dragon spawning in just under a minute. I want to watch Young go back and pick that up for his team so they can actually contest for this dragon.
Yeah, that's the timing that you always need to be careful of for the core key, is just making sure you have the package in time of the objectives. They are getting a really good push here at perfect timing, it feels like. So Young going to have to be forced back under a very low turret. Gets a 4th plate for Darkwings. And there's just
This
no answer for
Tristana,
DSG.
I think,
They
has
to
like a
reset here
4K
towards the
gold
bottom side
lead
of the
on
map.
our mid lane.
Yeah, Young is very, very fast, and there are still teleports from both top laners if they want to go for it. And see them.
Like 2 kills, 4 platings, 20 CS.
Right now, this is Disguise saying for the next minute, we'll be strong enough to actually try and go for the dragon. But Winnie,
it's 5 grubs.
They got 5 grubs, like you said. I still get the Twitch chatters.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty good for Wildcard. Interesting to give that one up, but not wanting to give over the long-term dragon stacking to Wildcard. So DSG fine with trading that one.
Yeah. Okay, and he used the perfect, and he used the package before the dragon actually spawned, so he will have access to it for the next dragon. I love watching the small things come out from Corky players, and now it is another situation where they can continue to play around this Corky for the foreseeable future. The only thing they need to be careful of is, I mean, this starts taking a lot.
Darkwing's overextending a little bit there. He's in some trouble now, but he's waiting to use the flash, waiting to use the rocket jump, and he feels good about it.
Little greedy, but he ends up getting away with only the cost of his ultimate for that one. But the big thing now is that Wildcard with the opportunity to play around the Herald, it will be spawning before the next dragon, so they can actually go for that while the package is down.
What's that item in Malphite's
They have
inventory?
another very clear
Is that a red potion?
Just
I
keep
have
on
not seen that
stacking.
item.
There's also another Cloud Soul, which, you know, I don't know who we need to talk to about that, but I'm here for
It's
it.
from
I guess.
Maroon?
I
Oh.
do say.
I was wondering where you were going with that. But I was like, okay.
I was like, is that an Oracle Elixir?
If you don't know where you're going, they'll never know.
Perfect.
That's the whole thing. Meanwhile, Darkwing's actually looking for
Get
a
him, Twitch.
first turret.
Got
at
him.
12.5 minutes. That's all 5 plates and first turret gold going over to one of the biggest carries of Wildcard.
And now they're looking towards the bottom half of the map. Young doesn't have the package, and he's like, uh-oh, I know where people are. So here comes the counter collapse from Disguise.
You gotta get down here to save some life. Perry will try to fight over this Gromp at least. Won't end up getting it. It'll be Manui that grabs it. The fight's going in.
Whoa.
Perry go for the wall bang, and here's the Moonlight Vigil across. Big breath of life.
Hello.
But Quacker comes in, and he's rock solid, baby. As Tenacity is getting burned down in the back line. He gets one traded, but it doesn't.
You know what? I
matter.
like the
come away
play.
with aces.
I think
Yeah,
Perry
everybody
is
coming
just
in
a
for this fight,
very
and again, Wildcard
aggressive
ready to go. Darkwings is going to be able to pick
player,
up
and
even
he wants to
more
make
money
plays.
off of this wave. And honestly, he's probably
Like,
strong
at
enough
least
to try
they're
and go
doing
for a play
something,
going into both
you
Young
know.
and
But
Boom,
my
and
God,
he's
we need to
definitely strong
chill.
enough to push this in and maybe even look to
Play for the
grab
late
another
game,
play
man.
before everything falls down. But
Like,
they
both your
have to be
ADCs cannot hit over a
and
wall.
Quacker comes through. A big surprise. I didn't even realize he was teleporting in for this
Like-
play.
like this,
but
right?
He teleports so deep. Where
Flash
he goes
stuns
right
the
on the middle,
Maokai.
and This is definitely
Okay, the Maokai that has a Callista ult on him.
Because he comes in, instantly kills Barry.
I think he
Manui
was
has
trying
a
to go
whole
for the
lot to do
Lilia.
As he takes so much
He
damage.
just
Gets the turn
misclicked.
around Nasty. Yes, he gets one, but that's one of the spots where, because Darkwings is jumping.
Like
all
Lilia,
over the
there is
place,
100%
he's so
guaranteed
strong,
kill.
And now he's going to be able to pick up another turret.
Jump man. And Nasley's Darkwings do.
Wow, he has 2k gold over the next player. He's up a whole ass item.
The Aurelia will contest him. I think we've all seen how that can go down, but the fact that Darkwings is utilizing this pick so well, it feels right back to some of the peak Darkwings we know and love, and he's able to move from that mid lane early pressure down to bot side, get another outer tower, and now push that pressure up towards this Rift Herald.
Yeah, I mean, there's no package available. Corki still useless for a little while longer, and Darkwings hunting for Manui a little bit, but will be an easy objective going over towards the side of Wildcard. They have a very dominant position in this game so far, and so the question will be, how well can they actually push it through? They're already moving towards the top side, and you know they're looking for this dive.
Wildcard sticking their head in the game here. We got Young under tower. Does have the Valkyrie available, has Flash as well. Perry is here to try to defend, but the Rift Herald is going to be utilized. See who's driving today. Looks like nobody's going to take that one. As they do go for the engage, it's going to be Young's Flash that gets him out.
Oh.
Oh.
I mean, all right. Now, this is one of the things. Yeah, this is one of the things that we are a little bit worried about, as Winnie's going headlong into this turret. It does not. Does not impact, but it is going to be a trade of potentially another turret.
That's the combo there, as now Aaron's going
Keep pushing, keep pushing.
Oh, yeah, Quacker's just
keep
gone.
pushing mid, keep pushing bot. Keep pushing mid. We know where they are. We're going to keep pushing. Take everything from them.
Yeah, I don't know if this was worth it. Quacker being very aggressive.
Keep pushing, keep pushing.
You're going to be getting the tier 2 bottom side.
Oh, Darkwings. He actually got the distance there, so he did get stunned, as now everything coming in. The resets. Ooh. Darkwings not willing to go into 3 members by himself, as Winnie got ejected from the space.
Good.
Yeah.
I mean,
still
that was pretty good, right? We got bot tier 2.
Overall coming out for Wildcard, with Quacker going down and multiple turrets going over.
Like, we just traded turrets.
This was the kind of play I was looking from Disguised in the previous
Technically, we're
games.
out 1 kill ahead.
They finally punished Wildcard for a lot of their overextensions here. Now Wildcard, some of their very aggressive plays is coming back.
Dragon's up,
there
though.
There is another dragon. There is a package available for it, and is Young picking it up? Seeing if he's going to halt.
Yep. He's waiting for it. He's just waiting on the timer. I do, though.
Yo, we assassinate this Tristana, it's over for the enemy team. They have no damage.
On the bottom side for DSG, trying to find a play elsewhere. But it looks like the side lane is the presence for them, and Wildcard will respond in kind.
Yeah, I mean, Wildcard will go for every fight. Tenacity, though, on 2 items is very
All we gotta do is kill Tristana.
Small thing, when you are playing the Corki, make sure you use a couple of rockets while you are on the fountain, because it will refill your rockets. That way you start with a big one. But either way, Darkwings coming up is strong enough to say, hey, do not come towards this turret. This is my structure.
They're just mind gaming Wildcard right now.
Yes.
But they
yes. Let's go Tenacity.
Big shutdown. 650 gold.
Dude, I feel like if Tenacity can just clean up his early game.
That's what happens when Darkwings are trying to make a play up in the top
like
side.
His fight, like his team fighting, I feel like it's pretty good.
Now this is looking like a reversal of what we were seeing in the first game.
Young putting in some work.
Young, what are you doing?
He is dead to
What are you doing here, Young? Come on, you're supposed to be the veteran.
Aaron, his first kill of the game.
Still, that's a lot of time for Corki to continue scaling in this one, and Quacker, as he moves back towards the mid lane. I mean,
you're supposed to be the veteran. You're not supposed to be the one making those mistakes.
Players just aren't. But now with the top 2 turrets already gone on the red side of the map, and the bottom 2 turrets already gone for the blue side of the map, suddenly it's like, well, it's okay. It's going to take forever for these minions to actually interact with any structures. So instead, we're just focused on a lot of the neutral objectives, and you are seeing some pings coming out from Disguise. I have to imagine that is Tenacity saying, hey, give me this farm. I'm going to farm until I am so strong that no one on Wildcard can deal with me.
I mean, he's got the Blade of the Rune King and the Wits incompleted now. So that was going to be my big question is, do you think we're at a point in the game where DSG feels more confident to take Tenacity in these fights, or at least just wait in the side lane more?
They should wait, right? They really want Corki to be on 2 items before they do anything, right? They really want the Eclipse to come through in order to make sure that you are getting maximum damage, and so they need to continue giving a little bit of money towards their other solo laner before Disguise should be ready to just go headlong into these fights.
We do have a Baron coming up on the table here now, so at least in about a minute, trying to position some vision around there will be super important. You already see Wildcard pinging that way as well, and you see with a double mark on top how quickly things can go awry in terms of burning down targets and things like that. I know Wixie posted yesterday about his game where he literally was like 0-0-3 on Callista, but he had more damage done to objectives than the jungler did. Because he's on Callista and he's just able to rack up the spears. So it's something that DSG are going to have to think about now that Baron is on a timer.
Also, I'm going to start calling the cat Whiskey.
Whiskey?
Yeah, like whiskers,
Wow.
but whiskey.
Oh,
Because that's what you called Wixie for a second.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, that's a good name for a cat. Anyway, going back into it, it is definitely a spot where Wildcard are in control, but I am a little bit
Is this
worried.
the
because
Baron
we're
with the
kind of
hands?
losing the thread a little bit with the plays
Ew.
towards the top side. And now that Tenacity is on, oh my gosh, they're just going to do it.
I told you.
You can't just do Baron on spawn every single time.
Anyways.
Yeah, and everybody's coming around. Young does not have access to the
That's-
package. I
that's
don't
not a
think
thing.
The second item, and here comes the teleport.
Tenacity's got to be a big deal here. It was just to force that TP and Wildcard pull away. I love to see gameplay like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of thing that Winnie loves calling for. Is like,
Punish
hey, I
him,
don't
punish
think we're
him.
in Position. What if we just hit the Baron? Unfortunately, Quacker does not yet have the health pool necessary to withstand all the damage that the Baron does put out by themselves. And Darkwings.
Darkwings.
Oh,
I
Tenacity
don't
got the
know
stun.
if this is-
NT.
okay. That
He's fine.
last dash
Good buffer.
from there, not enough space.
Winnie.
Winnie, though, he gets hit to the wall, and they collapse completely on him.
Don't
He's
let
got
him
Flash
leave.
Still alive. He
Teleport.
does end up getting out. The watch out. Eep does work there, and Wildcard saved their
Oh
goal,
wait,
but
the, what?
now
That Maokai
it's Baron.
cannot. That Maokai cannot just
Yeah,
blast
Winnie's
Conan
going
like
to go
that.
For this full reset. So Wildcard, they do recognize that the fight is brewing.
They
We
have a
gotta
lot
damage
of
this.
sustained
We gotta damage the
though.
Baron.
Dog's able to
We
put
gotta
in some
damage the
savage
Baron.
Quacker with
We
a
gotta
big
damage the
full
Baron. We gotta
tank.
damage the Baron. We gotta keep hitting the Baron. We gotta keep hitting the Baron.
Has 3,000 health down. There he goes in. He's in the pit. Perry's still
Yes.
focused on the Baron, and he gets it. So now DSG will
Now
turn
we
the
walk
fight.
up. It's a
Tenacity's looking
5v4.
real
There's
strong
no
here.
hot,
Tenacity's on
sexy
Aaron.
deer
Tenacity's
lady
looking for it,
to
and he's
distract
still
us with how
going.
attractive she
He finds
is.
Darkwings on
Let's
the
go.
other side,
See,
but look at the
Tenacity. This
dashes,
is why
and it's bringing me
you
back
are
a
him.
couple
You
years,
have
and
him
nostalgia
inside you.
overflows, but
He
Tenacity
is inside you,
Chad
and
once
that
again.
person is
It's
yourself.
him. He's back. He's ready to rumble, and he's able to take down 3 in that last fight. Again, everything set up
The
by
man
Perry, though,
who is
going for that pick
inside
onto
you
Winnie, even though
is
they don't
you.
kill him, they force him out of the fight, generate that 5v4 opportunity. And Tenacity, he's finally hit the golden zone.
This is
He's
why I
going to
drew
keep
him
on
as
firing
the
every single one of
Chad
these fights. We see
stick
Quacker
figure.
jump in, but he only hit
'Cause he's
Perry
him.
with the ultimate,
And we're finally
he's tanking
seeing
up, and
him like
he
that.
does not care at all. Yes, they get the shutdown onto Manui, but Darkwings is already routed.
Like-
He doesn't have enough health left out to do
Not gonna lie, someone
anything.
has like early
I mean, Aaron
game
has never really had
is
an opportunity to jump up in this
confusing,
game, be a
to
massive
say the
threat,
least.
and so
But he gets to
does
these
mean that
team fights,
Tenacity
and
has
he
bought
does
enough
his
time.
job.
He has the frozen
He
heart to
does
slow
his
down the
job.
double marksman.
All he
And
needs to do is
suddenly,
not
Young now
Omega
on 2
into
items,
the
he's
first
gonna
10
be able to
minutes,
start putting some
and
damage
it's
before the fight
over
even
for the
starts.
enemy team.
We've all been there before. We've all watched Aurelia's bypass your entire team and just chunk your ADCs. Well, there's 2 of them on Wildcard for Tenacity to choose from, and I think this is where things become so much more difficult. And it's really, really nice to see Tenacity back in form. It feels like this series has been a bit up and down for him, but I feel like he's consistently had some good strengths.
Oh,
Meanwhile,
he jumped in!
maybe
He jumped in! Nice stun, Tenacity! That's fucking go!
Gets the kill there, but
Let's
still
fucking
the
go,
highlight
Puma.
has to
What's
be
going on
for
over
this
there,
guy,
buddy?
Tenacity, as a
Again, we should really knock it off with the
Ended up
flash
getting the
when
kill
you're
and boom, just saying
100%
hello.
dead.
They're gonna
Don't
run
let him
away
leave.
here. We do have a little bit of time because Tenacity spent last year not playing, right? Like he went away. He was streaming in Korea, part of the LS camp there, it felt like, and coming back to a vengeance, coming back to a state of him wanting to perform, him wanting to compete, because that wasn't there. It felt like that last year. He felt like it was a better option for him to go stream. But now he's back and in full force, and it feels like we're starting to get those shades of the Tenacity we once thought was going to be the next biggest prospect in the LCS.
Yeah, and it is so important that he is able to take things down on one of his signature champions here. He's going to take this structure down, and the Quacker is at risk. Alright, not that much risk, but still.
He's a mountain.
mountain.
I don't know if you've ever.
I mean,
tried
that
to
Tristana
cut a mountain
W
with a sword,
ing
but, it
at the
doesn't
top
work very
lane like
well.
that, it's just,
I
it's like,
have played Elden Ring. Come on,
bro,
but
your one job
at the
is to
very
just
end of it,
save
though,
W to
Disguise,
not
they're in
die.
a beautiful position. We said that this game went long. It was going to be all Disguise all the time. Dark Wings had the perfect opportunity to try and take this one down, but instead it was Tenacity who came right on out despite dying a couple of times early on in the game. He was able to get the gold he needed to. Quacker did not have a counter pick ready to go, and bringing it out in game 3 does not give your opponents time to prepare for it whatsoever. And so Wildcard, they're going to have to rely on some good old-fashioned team fighting, some good old-fashioned picks, but Disguise, it feels as though they are wise to the tricks that Wildcard have been playing with.
And that's the core thing here. Is the thing about DSG is we know they have hands, right? There's a reason why this team got brought together, and it just hasn't been on display yet. Through all their losses, it has been heartbreaking. But this series in its own, in a microcosm, feels like this team that we expected from the start of the split. Even though it's been wonky, it's been crazy, they've kept their cool in a lot of these situations, knowing what their game plan is out in front of them.
And now they just need to close it out. We have 3 minutes until the next dragon spawns, 2 minutes until the next baron spawns, and they are set up for success for everything. The fact that Young will have another package to play for means that they will have a lot of damage available to them. They will have some game-changing tools, and Dark Wings needs to be very careful. If he has to use the rocket jump defensively, it suddenly means that he's not going to try and assassinate Manui. It means he's not going to be able to try and jump onto any low members of Disguise. It means that he has to play a more front-to-back style, which is exactly what this Irelia is going to be an all-star in.
It's pretty terrifying. Couple things going their way, though, can mean Wildcard have a chance in some of these fights, but it's been really the lane assignments that have not gone their way. And I think Tenacity being a force that nobody really has to
I like it. There's a Maokai hiding in the shadow, and there's also Emilio hiding in the shadow. And they're both pretending, oh, it's a 1v1.
Have that extra tool to go deal with the side lane pressure.
Yeah, I mean, you also have a situation where multiple members on DSG are farming better than 10 CS a minute, right? Both Tenacity and Manui are above 270 at 260, or 26 minutes. So they have gotten a lot of money, and even though Manui has still yet to get a kill, he's still on par in items with the members of Wildcard. Yeah, he is tied with Dark Wings. You know, he's down a Vamp Scepter, oh no. But he's also ahead of Aaron just because he's consistently able to be a part of every single one of the turrets that have gone down. And as we forget, or as we touched on way earlier, he also got the mid lane turret
Oh,
entirely
Tenacity's
himself.
walking up menacingly.
The early blood definitely helping out there for sure. Now, Tenacity just seems like the sword of DSG. And literally, you saw there, Tenacity
Red, white guns. Wait, this is good. Red, white, we fight.
So it's not follow the leader for Winnie. It's follow the leader for Tenacity. And we got to watch where he's at in all of these fights. We are getting positioning around this mid lane because we have objectives.
Red, white, we fight. Red, white, we fight.
Double ulti there from Quacker.
Red, white, we fight. Red, you missed your out, Manui, but it's all right. Red, white, we fight. Red, white, we fight.
They've already used their Nature's Grasp and that unstoppable force.
Yeah, and that's a disaster. That's going to be Cloud Soul going over towards the side of Disguise because both of your major engage tools are gone. And Dark Wings, I mean, having to jump away from Tenacity in the mid lane, they cannot hold
Okay,
the
there's
mid
no
lane away.
ult
They cannot
from
hold the
Maokai
pressure, and
or
there's 30 seconds before the dragon, so that means that
Malfight.
Disguise, they feel
Maokai,
free to go for
Malfight.
this 'cause they have so much damage.
How are you
They
gonna
have
get to
so
our
many
back
tools
line? Our
out.
back line is
There's no
closed.
engage from Wildcard.
See them go with
They want to fuck on us.
I mean,
They want to fuck on us. We're just gonna let them fuck on us. Tenacity's going in. He hits the side. He goes to the out. Over there, he's going to the Maokai. He's going on the killer side the back. He's auto attacking the back.
Some trouble here. He's trying to take down Tenacity, but Tenacity's healing so much, and the rest of DSG, they're routing Wildcard.
You fools! You're running into our towers.
When he's gonna be able to get out of that one, but Young takes down Quacker on the other end of it, and Dragon Soul in the eyes of DSG.
And look at where Manui is at the same time. He's gone top lane. He's going to be taking down another structure. This is what we needed to see from Disguise. Wait,
I don't know if you guys win this 2v1. Bring in the carries.
Young comes over here. Then he does it with us. He realizes that now. But you see some of the speed. The flash from Perry sets up Young for another kill. And DSG now find themselves 5,000 gold in the lead.
And
hang on, Tenacity. I apologize. I was not familiar with your game.
Over towards the Baron as well. They
Because
can
the
do
first
this because
5
Winnie
games we
is
saw
dead.
from
They
me,
have us
kind of
fighting
like,
there
yeah, I'm
way
gonna
faster
say you
than
lost a lot of
one coming out from
1v1s.
Wildcard in disguise. They're
But
taking
she get you
everything.
into
They're
the mid
taking
and late
maximum
game, you're
this
kind of
game. It is
cooking.
a beautiful turnaround from what we were seeing in the previous one. They have so much control. They have so much scaling.
I
They're
apologize.
just letting Wildcard pull themselves around the map and punishing every other exception.
And it comes from the singular strength of Tenacity. It feels like that was the big turnaround. That huge fight in mid lane where Tenacity was able to pick off.
Oh my god, it was a trap in the Baron pit! Oh my god, they are so smart. They specifically let Manui recall it in the Baron pit by himself. It's like, oh no, not poor little defenseless, sexy Aphelios. I'm just a little boy.
Defensively out of there, but DSG, they are on the cusp here, Joshi.
They're about to take.
And the
they're gonna
whole
get their
time
first
we had
series
the
win here
squad
in
on the other
Week
side of
3,
the
and
wall.
It was so needed. This team was, again, we are already about a third of their way through their season. They only have 6 series left after this. The fact that they are turning it around now, instead of after dropping another series, is a massive confidence boost that they need going forward into the rest of this. And so much of it,
I quiz my
again,
friends
off
on this.
the
People
back
say
of
Heartsteel
tenacity.
Aphelios is the
He's
sexiest
him.
Heartsteel.
He
Which
is
I don't
him,
really
and he has
understand.
returned. The return
Because
of the
he's
king
like,
for tier 2, but Tenacity now.
how do I
looks to
say
be
this?
the moment to turn around here.
He's
as
a
he goes
little,
right back in.
he's a little
He has
soft
the Vanguard's edge coming up soon.
He's
The
a little
breath of life could be
sensitive.
used there. Tenacity get low. He's
He
going
looks
right
like
back
he
in, though,
writes in
baby,
a
as he's
journal.
going for the
Oh
sun.
my God.
The flawless duet. 1,000 gold shutdown goes to Winnie, and now Darkwings can pop up.
Guys,
Young
don't throw
is
the
still
game.
firing, but Wildcard defend the base.
That was a 4v5. Manui wasn't there the entire time, and it still looked okay for Disguise. Yes, they give up 2, trying to potentially end the game, but they still have the Baron buff. They can still play for the upcoming Elder Dragon.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
Doxa, he did not expect Manui to be there, and Manui easily cleans that one up.
And now the
I
powerful
forgot
auto
this.
attackers.
I mean,
one
at the end of the day, this is a
Lilia's
challenger
nightmares
league.
is around. Now,
Just like
boom,
we end our
trying to get
games,
around for
sometimes
Manui to
the
pick 'em
opposing
up.
team end the game as well.
Fire kick there, the gravitum
That's
in
some
tow,
really
and
bad
there it
decision
is.
made.
It connects
There it
1
is.
auto, 2 auto, 3. Moonlight Vigil goes on to Darkwings. Manui, he split the difference,
Just
and
like
he
that.
comes up with nothing.
Oh my gosh, just like you said, he tried to go for everything. He went to Vegas and it wasn't enough.
There's a lot of bad
All
decisions
money
overall.
on black means he's not going to get anything. But still, 3 minutes left. before
Manui
the
tried to
Elder
get
Dragon
both.
actually
He tried to
spawns. There's a
kill
huge
the
lead for Disguise.
Lilia and
He
ult
scaled so
Tristana
Now,
to like,
AC
oh
can
man, I'm gonna
move
get them
over
both. Just
towards,
fucking pick one.
Elder Dragon here in a bit, and ooh, Young. It is 3 minutes until the Dragon, not 5 minutes. So this package is unfortunately not going to be available for them for the game-deciding fight.
I think really what we're learning here is that somebody needs to get Manui into Warhammer. Because in Warhammer, you know, never split fire. You always go for one target.
That's
And,
true.
you
Something
know,
needs to
that's-
die, you need to overkill it.
You need to overkill it. I think that's what he needed to do there. Meanwhile, Cracker has length of engage here, and Aaron with Witty backing him up. They had the trigger to pull.
I kind of wanted to see Quacker go for an ultimate there, not because it was likely to get them a kill, but because it was going to be up in time for the Elder Dragon anyway. So now Wildcard, yes, they
Guys, we
still
have a
the
6-hit
top
goal
force
lead.
for
We
a
have
while,
4
but they don't
dragons.
really have
Can
an
we not
opportunity to
coin
start a
flip
play.
this
The
on
one
an
thing they
Elder?
do
Just
have
win the
is
game.
a
How about
double
that?
marksman, so they can go deal with the pushing side wave relatively easily. But I mean, Tenacity's level 18. He does so much damage. He's got a completed build as he comes in with his Sterix Gauge and the Sundered Sky as well to continuously make sure that he can blow up everyone while staying alive.
You can feel a little hesitance from DSG though. They don't want
Kill
to
this
give over any
Lilia. Kill this
advantage to the
Lilia.
marksman composition, which I think is
Parry,
important to note.
slam her into the wall.
Winnie?
I'm noticing something.
Oh, nice combo, and now Tenacity has
Nice
the wave.
stun,
But look,
Tenacity.
it's Darkwings. Darkwings is doing huge.
Oh,
The Vanguard's edge. This is Wrecker! Oh my God, they're doing
Please
it,
run,
Joshi!
please run, please
Wild
run.
card pulling onto Tenacity and Parry.
They
We're giving
burned
so much shutdown
everything for
gold.
that, but Lennon,
Please stop.
33 minutes into the game. Yes, the
Please
death
stop.
timers are forever. Yes, they
Please
finally
stop.
take down
Please
Tenacity,
just play normally.
but it's not
There's a
going to
3v5.
matter.
Let's
There's
just back up.
still
Let's
an
just hide
Elder
in base.
Dragon spawning.
Let's just hide in
No,
base.
At 40.
No,
No!
Darkwings! Run away. Oh my God, Young has his number.
Okay,
He
Young.
is
That's why.
adjusted a
That's why you're the
shutdown
vet.
as
You
well.
bring that veteran
That's a lot of gold
experience.
to Young.
Parry and
That's a lot of
Tenacity.
gold.
You guys need
I
to
mean,
chill
but
the fuck
even
out.
then, I actually don't know if that was good either, because now Young doesn't have his flash. This upcoming play, and there's another play going.
Oh, Doxa's going on Manui, but Manui goes forward, and Manui's taking down Aaron. He's still
Honestly,
alive, but he goes
the
down
fact that Manui still got the
triumphantly
trade
as
will
both
count
AD
it.
carries
That's
are off the
okay.
table for wild card.
And now neither of them have flash. We're continuously trading
Oh
summer
my
spell for summer
God.
spell.
What is
Young
happening
is still here.
right
We're
now?
not
What
done.
God,
what a
keep
clown
turning
fiesta
the
of a
carousel
game.
Here as Young is trying to get the angle. The slow does make it
Thank
where
you
he
for the
doesn't want
sub,
to go in.
Tofu,
But
Messenger,
Elder
Papa
Dragon
Wall,
has
and Sky
spawned. Our
Sushi.
timer is very off, and it looks like DSG.
We're gonna start the Elder.
Oh,
Well, it's a
God, that's so
4v3,
many
I
good members
suppose.
as well, Manui's gone. Darkwings and Aaron are both gone. Darkwings does not have the teleport. And Quacker doesn't have his ultimate either. How does Wildcard contest?
They're trying to find a way in. They're trying to get Winnie in there. If he gets a steal, this is the biggest moment of the series for him. They are at a deficit, but an Elder Dragon evens that one up very heavily. I think DSG realized that. They go in onto Young. They're trying to get it. Vanguard misses again. Tenacity cannot hit that ult to save his life. But it does push Wildcard out, and Tenacity, now being the bodyguard he needed to be, is fooling them off of this Elder Dragon. Meanwhile, Doxa, he goes way too far. He's gonna have to flash out, and now
Chill.
Wildcard
Let's just all calm down. They just Malphite ulted. They just Malphite ulted. Just look for a fight. Look for a fight here. Wait for Manui. Look for a fight.
There's no teleports available on either side. Everybody is at the health that they are at.
They have
Quacker
0
is
engages.
So low.
Young getting some really good poke in it with the Malignants there too, and it looks like Wildcard will go right back.
We want to
renew
force
the
this fight. We
as
want to force
DSG
this fight.
started up. I think they wanted to try to get a reset, but they don't have TPs, so it's got to be a big thing. As now halfway, Elder Dragon going down. Vinny's trying to get there, though.
Put
If
this
he
on
can
the
get a
coin
big
flip.
losing lullaby,
Don't put
he
this
doesn't
on the
have it,
coin
he
flip.
doesn't have it, and now you gotta try
Fight
to
them.
get
Fight
in
them.
movement.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
big
Manui.
play and disguise.
Kill him. Kill him.
Move
Killing them is the
in.
best
Tenacity
objective
trying to clear
control.
house. Breath of Life gives them the edge they needed.
Good
And it's Wildcard
call to
who
not
are
do
down,
drag.
hopeless
Whoever
and
called that,
defeated.
fucking crisp. Oh my God.
Series win of the split, and right
That's what I'm
at the
talking
end of
about,
a week
gents. I
three
believed
slug.
in you. Whatever you do, do not
Every
watch the
single
VOD for
player
game 1.
needed to step up this series in order to find
Ever
this win,
since
and they do it to Nasty. Got them to
70
this point,
minutes
but
ago,
finally
I
Manui
always
and
knew
Young,
you guys
some of the
had it in you.
stars for this team we knew
I
were
never
ready,
lost
are here
faith.
to close it
Everyone
out.
thought you guys were
Disguised
trash and
didn't
deserved to
need
be fired.
ChatGPT, just
Not
needed to get
me.
Tenacity, his good old Aurelia, and this team finally finds their win. They finally find something to play off for this split, and what a way to do it over a wild card team that was thriving in this league so far, and they'll hand them their first loss.
I
Never
would really
count
need
us
to
out.
explain the ChatGPT
That's why-
reference to me later, but
that's
it
why
looks like we have a
DSG
replay of that last fight.
are the
One
GOATs.
more
That's
time
why we
for you
picked
guys
up
coming
these
through.
5
There were
players.
no engaged ultimates coming out for the Malphite, for the Lilia, and so Manui feels confident with his ability to step up in this last one, and just by throwing out the ultimate.
This is what
these
happens
guys
when you stay positive
already
about your
so
team,
low.
chat.
Quacker goes down, Doxa goes down.
That's
He takes
nice.
them
That's a
both
nice
down
affiliate
with a
style.
single
It deleted the
auto-tech,
2
and
tanks.
that's the go button as they just get right on into Nasty, flashing right into the entire fight.
I think we're ready for the
waiting all
LCS.
the buttons to be used, and then it's just a complete route from that position. Great play
Yeah.
coming through from Disguise. We needed to see this coordination.
We're getting
I also really
comfortable
like
with
Tenacity
being
knowing
uncomfortable.
not to go for Darkwings there because he was going to get Buster shotted. So what he does, he dashes to Darkwings, then goes above him. So as soon as the Buster shot comes out, it's towards his team. So I think
Well
really
done by
heads up
everyone.
play
That
there
was
from
a
Manui turning
better
around
game.
to being
It
able
wasn't
to
as clean. I mean, we still
stick
made
it.
some
I
mistakes.
feel
but
like 'cause it was
we're
looking
getting
a little
there.
dicey there for a lot of the time.
We're
So,
getting there.
Feels really good for DSG to get their first win under Disguised Toast. Is probably very happy, but more so, confidence is key for a lot of these players, and excited to see them move forward. That is it for our series. 2-1 to Disguise. We'll have an interview after this break.
Interview. Oh God.
Introduce.
Please don't interview one of my players that probably has been listening to all the things I've been saying. Yeah, I saw his VOD last week. He just said I was shit and didn't deserve to be paid. Yeah. Made me pretty sad. Maybe makes me feel like I can't make a mistake or else I'll lose my job. So didn't you say tenacity has to be win trading? Bro, have you seen this dude 1v1 decision making? It's not my fault. It's not my fault, I swear. His team fighting's insane. Look, he has really good team fighting. On Olaf and on Irelia, he was cooking them. But I'm gonna give it real. Some of these 1v1 decision makings he's been making, I'm like, I don't know about that one, Chief. You took a 1v1 in top lane and the opponent has 80% health and then you died. I wonder who they're gonna get for the interview.
Welcome back, everyone, and welcome to the Rally Cry
That's a
post-game
good
interview.
hoodie.
We are joined by
Bonus pay for wearing the hoodie, Perry.
in the jungle. We are joined by Perry in his new home after their first season dub. My man, feels like a lot of stress, a lot of pressure was leading up to this. Does it feel good?
Getting the first dub of the season is definitely, it feels good. It's been a while into the season for the first dub, but we got it. So
What do you guys feel like really turned things around? Because I definitely felt as though you guys saw a lot of growth throughout the course of this series alone. Was there something that clicked for you guys between games?
I think one thing that wasn't great is during both our matches previously, we had like it was either Manui sick, like I was sick. People weren't feeling good, but also just playing with confidence and playing, just trying to do things. I feel like we're very scared for some reason. It's FlyQuest challengers. Oh, they have this import mid, this import on TL. It's I don't know. Still mentally, I feel like at least for me, it's just I wasn't as I'm just gonna send it. Versus today, I'm just I'm going in. Nothing to lose anymore.
He did.
That's the most important thing that we saw different today, I feel like, than we have before. And that's where I want to highlight a little bit more of the style of play you guys have. Yes, you're with Manui yet again, but it's a new place for both of you. And especially off of feel like whirlwind year on Fear. How has it been adjusting to a new environment, especially a new slew of players to play with?
Honestly, I think it's refreshing in the sense of I don't know, being with the same team for a year is kind of it gets kind of repetitive at the same time. The players I have on DSG is I think it's a really good roster. We didn't have the best performances the last few weeks, but we have really good coach, really good players all around.
Don't worry, Perry. I never lost faith.
I'm just enjoying a brand new environment. I think it's DSG is just a really good place to be in.
Positive vibes.
Now, one of the things that we knew about your time on Cincinnati Fear is you guys had a pretty strong social media presence coming through, but Disguised has that even more so. So how has it been moving to a team that is even more in the limelight than probably any roster you've been on before?
I mean, honestly, it's crazy. The view count is big. Toast is doing the host streams. It's definitely there's more eyes watching, and you can kind of feel it in a sense. It's a good
Feel all
feeling.
that support and positivity.
Really active in social media myself, content streaming, YouTube, and just even I've performed kung fu for many years. I've been a child actor, so the spotlight is always going to be so enjoyable. So
I don't think we knew about that. What did you do as a child actor?
There's a lot of little short films, student films.
You've got an IMDb. What's
He has an IMDb.
Okay,
bro.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna check that out later. Is it Perry Norman?
It's
Okay,
very
perfect.
very general.
All right, I just got to give a couple questions here. One's a shout out. The other one, did Tenacity just say in the last game, give me Aurelia, or what happened there?
Oh, definitely. We're on the 4P, and he's I'm picking my top laner. Maybe got a few champs. He's like 2 seconds left. 2 seconds left. Pick me Aurelia, and then I'll get it. And our coach is just sure, just sure.
Sure, why not?
These
All
are
right,
not
let's
things
give you
I
some
wanna be
shout outs
getting.
we talked about before we let you go.
I mean, honestly, just shout out to my family, my girlfriend supporting me always.
And your boss,
my
right?
entire roster, my entire team, especially
And your boss,
coaches.
right?
We got a lot of they're putting their effort in, and Yeah, just all the fans, all the people supporting me. Like even though we're
And the guy
losing,
who
like it
pays
still
your
feels like
salary,
everyone
right?
is like here to watch and here to
The
be
guy who
like,
gives
yeah, like
you
let's go DSG.
money?
Like it's just a really good feeling to know
The
that
guy who
everyone out
puts the
there
food
is
on the
just like
table?
still
You gotta
rooting
thank
for
him?
us. So.
Big fan, Perry. It's been a pleasure to get.
All right. Today we are sad to announce the departure of Perry from our League of Legends team. We wish him the best in his future endeavors. Alright, if anyone knows a jungler that's available, we are looking for a new jungle. Clack Kitty, thank you for the sub. Alright, you know what? Today was a good day. I know I was a little doomy, a little gloomy. Maybe because I said all of that. Like, oh, this game's doomed and we'll never recover. Yeah, I mean, who was paying attention? So delete the VOD. Anyway, that's gonna do it for me. Thank you guys very much for watching and supporting DSG's crazy adventures. It's nice to finally get a win. And we'll be back in 6 days when our Apex Legends team plays. So it'll be fun then. Alright, I'm off for now. I'm gonna raid my boy Mr. Scara. Please show him some love and support. I'll see you guys next time.